It's time for high school football, presented by TISD and Cox Communications of Tyler. Brought to you by Dairy Queen and Supercuts. Also brought to you by these sponsors. Get ready, high school football is just ahead.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Latte frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're gonna go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on it.
Man, I'm out of here.
Fellas,
You're out of your mind. That's not
where you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
It is a glorious day in Central Texas. Temperatures in the low 60s, maybe now mid 60s, but there is a very heavy and obvious wind. When Kerry Ainsworth and I have first arrived, in fact, we got out of the hotel, we were here last night, and we walked into the parking lot, and all of a sudden, I mean, whatever hair I have started blowing. We couldn't tell with Kerry. But it was obvious, and it will have an impact, you would think, on some plays. Now, the 2 captains are the teams here, Cole Skates, Saron Black, Peyton Price, and Jason Stripling, the captains for Lee, and the officials from Houston, Billy Rippery, the referee, they shake hands. McNeil, again, blue and white uniforms, red and white for Lee. And the coin flip now at midfield.
Okay, I'm Ed Weldon, I'll be your referee. Okay, Ben. We have a penalty. We'll call for a white captain or a blue captain to come up. Make your decision. Once you make your decision, it's final, okay? Look at your coach. Make sure you do what he wants, all right? Okay. You're the mister. You call it in the air. All right. It's called heads. It is heads, and he wants to defer.
Robert E. Lee has won the toss, and they have elected to kick off. They've elected to defer. You have to say defer. You don't want to say kick off, because then you have to kick off in the second half as well. And we've seen, in fact, John Tyner had that mix-up earlier this year in a game that I did. And so Lee again wins the toss. They elect to defer, and they elect to go with the wind, which is what looks like an east to west wind. We're on the north side of the stadium. It's a wide open stadium with the field house on the east side and the scoreboard, which is a beautiful jumbotron on the west side. So Lee will kick off, and hopefully they're excited to look at the possibility of the possibility of the defense setting the tone against this McNeil offense that carried the game and controlled time of possession in their win last week, Randy, against the Woodlands.
Well, they want to be out there first, the lead defense, and Coach Owens wants his team off to a fast start with their defensive play, attacking the football.
Lee on defense. We'll get to their starters in a moment. Don't forget, after the game, the Dusty Rhodes Marine Player of the Game. $50 in the name of the Player of the Game to the KTBB Scholastic All-Stars program. Offensively for McNeil, let's go through their starting lineup. Jadrian Parker, the quarterback, has thrown for 1,490 yards. He's a junior. The tailback is Cameron Rogers, who's rushed for 1,076 and 11 scores. The receiver that you watch for is Jake Levin, 6'4", 190, senior with 9 touchdown catches. Dusty Andrews and Stephen Brandewie are the other receivers. Up front, tackle to tackle, Jason Storms, Ryan Finley, Brandon Woodyard, Anthony Vila, and Garrett Nelson. Alex Arndt and TJ Hartsfield rotate at tight end. Kicking off is Micah Johnson for Robert E. Lee, and here comes the kick with the wind. Very high, not really very deep, and McNeil fielded at about the 10. And nowhere to go at the 14. Nick Mitchell with a nice job for Lee early to knock McNeil down inside the 15-yard line. He dropped it initially, and that cost him. Lee up front. Defensive end, seniors Ricky Sherfield and Cordero Mumphrey. Jacoby McKenzie, one of many at defensive tackle, the junior. Linebackers, Cole Skates, Dominique Van Zandt, Warren DeHaven, and Matt Uzel. Safeties are Jason Stripley, the senior, and senior Nick Mitchell. And the corners, Micah Johnson, the senior, and Quent Nicholson, the junior. 4 wide receivers from McNeil from their 14-yard line on their opening possession. Rogers, the lone setback, and they give it to him off right tackle. He got about 3 or 4. Pretty good run out to the 19, Van Zandt, and DeHaven there for Robert E. Lee, and it brings up now second down, and we'll say 6 for the McNeil Mavericks at their 20 or their 19-yard line.
They go right to their strong side, David, behind Anthony Vila, Garrett Nelson on the right side with a nice pushback block, and 2 or 3 white-shirted Red Raiders are there to meet him.
Coach Wilcox telling me earlier this week that he was hoping to establish a running game not wide against Lee, hoping Rogers can bounce out every once in a while, but trying to go right at Lee. Second down, 5 at the 19. In motion, that is Liebens. He runs the stretch outside to Rogers, tries to get wide, and he has a 21 and 22 to carry, and Cuba was there, along with Mitchell again. So Mitchell's been involved early at the 22 and sets up 3rd down and 2 for the Mavericks at their 22-yard line.
Cameron Rogers tries to run behind his left guard, Ryan Finley, who's pulling on the play, but a nice inside move by Takari and Cuba to get to the running back, allowing a short gain.
Jacoby McKenzie will check out on 3rd and short. Sam Banks, who goes both ways, is a tackle. McNeil against the wind from their 22-yard line. Levins splits far side, left hash mark, and they roll right. Throws, pass is caught, first down, 28 to 29-yard line. There's that big, tall receiver, and a gain of 7 yards, and a very good throw by Parker against the wind, and that's the possession receiver that kind of reminds you of a taller version of Danny Amendola last year from the Woodlands.
He runs a 7-yard out curl pattern along the sideline, and the lefty zips it to him for the initial first down of the game for McNeil.
That is the key matchup. There's a couple of matchups. That one there, the lead front 7 against the running back Rogers, but that one there, the receiver Levins against Micah Johnson. First down, Rogers, right tackle, or check that left tackle, eaten up by Matt Uzel and Warren DeHaven. 69 tackles this year for DeHaven, despite the fact that he missed a couple of games at 2nd down and 9.
Rogers gets the ball and just heads left off his left tackle, who's sprinting back to the right to make a clear block, but 3 Red Raiders are there to greet him to bring him down.
McKenzie checks back in at tackle for Robert E. Lee, and Banks checks out. Lee again defensively trying to force McNeil to punt into the wind. Lone setback, 4 receivers set right in the middle of the field, 2nd and 8. They run the quarterback keeper, and there's nothing there. Uzel, McKenzie, Skates, as Parker, Jadrian Parker, the 166-pound junior, got maybe a yard outside their 31, and here's 3rd down and 8.
Well, Uzel reads the play beautifully, David. He fights off the guard who misses his block, and he's there to greet the quarterback who goes nowhere on the option.
3rd down and 7. Quent Nicholson now comes in as they started without 2 corners. It's 3rd and 8. Levin's far side, Micah Johnson with Dominique Van Zant shading him, and Lee needs a timeout. There's a confusion on the personnel, and with 9:25 to go in the opening quarter, 3rd and 8 coming up for the Mavericks, and we're back in 30 seconds on KTBB.
Morning.
What's up, bro?
Welcome to the party. It's the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. Get access to more than 150 extra college football games this season.
Prepare to party. Call 1-888-SPORTS-IN and order ESPN Game Plan. Available with Cox Digital Cable.
Car shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine and Tyler.
Lee started this game with a 3-4 set. They usually go 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and kind of 2 safeties that play a linebacker spot, Stripling and Mitchell. But they have 4 linebackers in early, and Quet Nicholson comes in here, Cuba the lone safety. Skates will go man-to-man with one of the receivers. Levins goes far side, and they will double-team him, Dominique Van Zant and Micah Johnson. So now McNeil's job is to try to counter that, see if they could still get it to Levin, which would not be good news, or try to find an alternate player. That also takes Van Zant out of the running game, remember, if in case they can try to get the little running back Cameron Rogers loose on 3rd and 8. They have let the full minute go through on the timeout, and they set it up. And here comes now Parker in the shotgun from the 32. Shotgun, fakes the draw, rolls to the near side. Now, left-handed, goes downfield, passes out of bounds, caught, but way out of bounds. Great coverage by Nicholson, but Cordero Mumphrey forcing Parker to throw that thing away, and Lee is forced exactly what Mike Owens, defensive coordinator Randy Huffsticker, and assistant head coach Jay Law wanted, to force a punt. Lee will have Tony Bush back as the solo return man. The punter is also Levins, by the way.
Well, Lee just does a great job of coverage on the play, David, and they force the play so far wide out that the quarterback just has to waste it down the field incomplete.
Levins averaging almost 35 yards a punt, gets the snap, nice punt. Bush will field it at his 38, fair catch. Lee starts the drive at the 39. Here comes the Lee offense, the center, Blake Larman. The guards are Sam Banks and Brian Culp, all seniors. So are the tackles, Saron Black and Stephen Christian. He will rotate with Matt Holland, another senior. The tight end, John Giles, 6'1", 190 junior, along with Tyler Fleet, who's a sophomore. Walter Simpson and Tony Bush, the split receivers. And the tailback, Tyrone Ross, with 4,264 yards rushing. And the fullback, 910 yards on the ground, is Peyton Price. And Lee starts off in the straight eye. Peyton up the middle, breaks a tackle, almost went the distance, tripped up by the safety at the 49. Ty Estes stopped what would have been a 60-yard touchdown in the opening play for Lee, and a gain of 13 yards.
And the tear play works to perfection. Here's a great block up front from his left guard on the left side. Give credit to Sam Banks for opening a nice little hole, and one tackler grabs him by the ankle and brings him down, or it would have been 6 for sure.
For McNeil up front, the very active tackle, Matt Williams. Ada Hawley, the defensive tackle and nose tackle. Justin Harris, the other tackle. Giles now, the H-back. Josh Hill, Peyton Price again up the middle for a couple of yards, got down to the 47. Also the linebackers from McNeil, they play a similar set, by the way. Matt Sibbles, the junior, made the stop there. Chad Cummins is the other safety who comes up on the defensive line of scrimmage. Michael Campbell and Brian Parks, the linebackers. Matt Gammons and Terrence Moshe are the corners, and Conrad Cleveland and Ty Estes, the safety. Second down, 8. Price got 13 and then 2. 8:20 to go, first quarter, no score. Lee's first possession, tight end is Fleet near side, right in the middle. Josh Hill, T.Y. left tackle into the secondary, 30, 20, 10, touchdown! Touchdown, Tyrone Ross, 47. Brian Culp with a great block up front, and Lee makes it look easy.
And Tyrone makes it look real easy with a great clearing block up front. Give credit to the interior lineman straight up the middle, David. They just punched open a big hole, and Tyrone just kind of was very patient, weaved his way through it, and then darted straight up the field, scampering home for 47 in the lead touchdown.
Peyton Price almost went 61. Tyrone goes 47. Last week he scored from 66 yards away, and Tyrone Ross in the end zone again. Here comes Cole Skates now, the extra point. The snap will come from Giles. Preston Hill, the nice hold on a high snap. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Our score, 8:07 to go, first quarter. Quarterfinal action from Waco. Robert E. Lee 7, McNeil nothing. Back in 60 seconds on KTBB.
For the best treats and eats and hottest winning in Texas, you gotta go to DQ. Only DQ's got the classic 4-piece all-white chicken strip country basket served with fries, Texas toast, and the best green gravy anywhere for just $3.99. Only DQ's got a cool creamy banana split made with DQ soft serve for $1.99. And only DQ's got the peel away giveaway game where you can win food, treat prizes, or your chance to win a brand new Dodge Ram 1500 Lone Star Edition pickup.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed?
Yeah!
Are we going to trade paint without fear?
Yeah!
Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
Terrence Moshe, Cameron Rogers back deep for Round Rock. McNeil. So is Dusty Andrews.
Robert E. Lee makes it look easy. Initially, 3 plays, 61 yards in 104, and Tyrone Ross takes it to the house in the last 47.
There is a huge contingent of Lee fans from the Tyler area. Here's Micah Johnson, very deep this time, and they'll let that thing go through the back of the end zone, as Lee wants to use the wind to their advantage and try to get off to a quick start, which they have done. And again, Peyton Price almost went 61, got 13, then he got 2, and T.Y. was never touched and split the secondary. And what a great seal block from Brian Culp up front. His brother, of course, Steven, is at TCU. And this is an offensive line that is all seniors for Robert E. Lee. Defensively, they go against McNeil. Mavericks at their 20-yard line, 8:07 to go opening quarter. Jadrian Parker is the quarterback. Takes the snap, rolls to his right, sets up, throws, pass, almost picked off by Micah Johnson. And he also got drilled by Warren DeHaven as he throws it, and Micah almost got a pick on Levens.
And Micah just reads the quarterback's eyes and follows him to the outside where Levens runs a 10-yard curl out pattern, and he steps right in front of the intended pass and bats it away along the sideline.
So 2nd down and 10, they'll bring in Hartsfield, the tight end. Also 34, Robert Abeta, the fullback, the junior, 5'9", 180 is checked in. And they'll go offset eye here on 2nd and 10. Robert E. Lee up 7-0. They throw it back to Rogers, gets the lead block from Abeta, gets about 4, and that is it as he's swarmed under by McKenzie, Uzel, DeHaven, Skates, and pretty much a bunch from the front 7. Cordero Mumphrey's jacked up early in this game. It's 3rd and 5.
The left guard, Ryan Finley, is attempting to get outside to make a clearing block, but there's 3 white shirts that are just running right over him to get the running back on the short game.
Jay Law and Randy Huffstickler telling me this week that, listen, we think Rogers can get some yardage. What we have to keep him from doing is getting the long run, because we got to make sure when we get to him, which we think we can do with our speed, we wrap him up. Levens now is the H-back on the near side, tight end side. 3rd and 6 for McNeil. Lee's going to bring the blitz on the far side. They pitch it back to Rogers. Nowhere to go. Cole Skates initially there. DeHaven was there. Uzel was there. And so is the safety carrying Cuba, and McNeil goes what looks like a 3-and-out in the 4th down punt situation from their 27, gain of 3.
Cole Skates just fights off the block of Robert Abeda, who tries to push him outside, but he turns the play back in and just wrestles down Cameron Rogers for short, no gain actually.
6:50 to go, clock running. Back to punt is Levens from about his 15-yard line. Lee looks like they're bringing some pressure on this one. He gets it off and turns it over. High, sky-high punt that Bush will let hit at the 40, and it goes sideways. And Lee will take over now at their 37-yard line. Matt Uzel gets into it. Thus Colby Ray gets into it. Colby helping bring the barbecue into the field house to the coaches this past week when we had lunch. 36-yard punt by Levens, and Robert E. Lee now will start almost where they started their first drive at the 39, this one at the 37.5. Lee now offensively, they went 3 plays, 61 yards. Simpson splits near side. He will be picked up by Matt Gammons, the corner, 5'8", 148. There's a size disadvantage in favor of Lee right there. They go double tight set. Check that, tight end 1. There's a handoff to T.Y., and he's eaten up by Williams, but still got back to the line of scrimmage. Matt Williams is a pretty good football player, 6'1", 192. Listen to these stats. 96 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, 2 caused fumbles, 13 of the tackles for lost yardage, not including the 5 sacks, and he knocked T.Y. down for a half a yard there.
Give credit, too, to Brian Parks, the linebacker on that side behind Matt Williams, to follow up the play and wipe out Tyrone.
Jonathan Williams and Jacob Amy in at wide receivers for Lee. Giles is in the split position. They run it to T.Y. up the middle, 45, midfield, first down. Great block inside by Saron Black and Sam Banks, knocked down by the safety, Dower, and it's a 14-yard pickup for T.Y.
He just finds a hole, very, very patient, falling behind the left side behind Banks, and also the big man on the left side, Saron Black, and they push out to the left side. It opens a door for him, and it takes the safety to bring him down deep in the secondary.
Zach Dower is a 5'10 junior. 1st and 10 Lee at the 47-yard line of McNeil. T.Y. has 60 yards on 3 carries. They run the fullback counter. Peyton Price close to another 7-8 yards. Dower again saved what looked like another long run for that little cross buck, that little wham play that Lee likes to run with Peyton Price in the offset eye, almost a wingback position, gain of 7.
He just does a great job. And you know, the misdirection is going to fool a lot of teams defensively, and Lee's so quick with their tandem 1-2 punch back there that the cut back inside, nice run again for Peyton Price.
Lee leading 7-0. Peyton Price will check out on this particular possession as they go 3 wideouts. Simpson and Amy far side, Tony Bush to the near side. H-back is Giles. From the 40, there's movement against Lee. They don't throw the flag. T.Y. gets outside, 40, 35, down close to a first down. He has it inside the 35, and Saron Black got into the face of Matt Williams early. He moved so quickly, I thought he moved too quickly, gain of 6 yards and a first down.
Well, it was so negligible, the move that is, that the officials just didn't throw the flags, but he gets out in front of the linebacker on that side, Parks, and just peels him back inside, and Tyrone follows that block and skirts back in for a nice first down gain.
And Sam Banks, the left guard, again going right with Saron, and that's the human island, and then the oasis, I think we could call him. 1st and 10 at the 34 of McNeil. Tight end, Fleet far side, left hash mark. This is Peyton up the middle, breaks a tackle, 30. Keeps going down inside the 30 to the 28. Nice tough run and a gain of 6 yards. Gammons was there along with Holly, but a gain of 6 for Peyton up the middle, 2nd and 4.
Initially, it's kind of bottled up inside, but he waits on Culp to push back the 2-tech, and he turns it back outside. Very patiently wheels his way inside and picks up a nice gainer on first down.
2nd down and 4. Robert E. Lee at the McNeil 28. 4:14 to go. Craig Smoke just made a comment. Lee has not thrown the ball with the wind. They haven't had to. They can punch it right here. Giles, the tight end. 2nd down and 4. Lone setback. This is Peyton this time, and they lost the football, got it back, lost about 4. And I think it was Ada Holly, the junior nose tackle, and McNeil's fans excited about the defensive play as Jason Williams had checked in, and now Lee in a forced passing situation at 3rd down and 8.
Holly does a great job of just skirting straight through and shooting the gaps and getting Price just after he gets the football.
Timeout, Robert E. Lee with 3:38 to go in the opening quarter, 7-0 lead. They've got 3rd and 8 at the McNeil 27, and we're back in 30 seconds from Waco on News Talk 600 KTVB.
Tyler Independent School District offers more advanced studies programs than any other school system in East Texas. The International Baccalaureate Program challenges students through a rigorous academic curriculum. Mary Lee Jones at MIT calls it the best high school prep curriculum an American school can offer. Education Week magazine calls the IB program the Cadillac of college prep programs. Just one more way, Tyler ISD provides every child every opportunity every day.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
3rd and 8, Robert E. Lee at the McNeil 32-yard line. 7-0 lead. They call timeout. That's their second of 3 with 3:38 to go in the opening quarter. Andrew Bailey is in at center for Lee. They've got Jonathan Williams, Tony Bush, and Walter Simpson, 3-receiver set. Simpson far side, Bush in the slot. And it's man-to-man coverage. T.Y. the deep back, and Hill takes the snap, rolls to his left, sets up, throws, pass, caught. Tony Bush dropped it. Oh, it was such a great effort. He just couldn't quite get there. A tremendous diving effort, but it falls incomplete. And Lee from the 32 has a decision to make here on 4th and 8. We know Skates has got the leg, which would be a 50-yard field goal attempt, but Mike Owens might want more than that.
Just a fantastic effort from Bush, as he'll put it in the only place where he really needed to for Bush to lay out to try to catch it, and he comes down and the ball hits the turf right before he does.
He would have had the first down inside the 25. They need the 24, and Lee is going to go for it on 4th and 8. McNeil fans on the near side below us on their feet. The Lee fans in droves on the far side. 4 receivers set. Giles the tight end to the near side. Offset eye, check that shotgun, Josh Hill. Takes the snap, it's a high snap, and he's in trouble already. Rolls, now throws, now in trouble, throws it over the middle, incomplete. That's a big stop for McNeil, as Hill that time got hit by Brian Parks. And they stopped Lee on 4th down and 8. And from the beginning, that snap was very high, and it kind of threw out the timing of that play, and the Mavericks of McNeil have to feel pretty good about that.
They get a good push, too, from Matt Williams along the corner, really forcing Josh further outside to throw the ball, and he throws it up, and fortunately it wasn't picked off by Brian Parks, who dropped a potential interception.
3:24 to go. First quarter, McNeil down 7 with the ball at the best field position they've had at the 32. Dominique Van Zant up on the line of scrimmage, the outside linebacker. Here is Rogers, off-right left tackle, hit for a huge loss. Cordero Mumphrey, great play, loss of 4 on the stretch play to Cameron Rogers.
Well, Lee's defensive pressure, their speed to the outside, it overwhelms their opponents, and it looks like that may be the case today if they can just keep up the pressure that they've had the last few weeks. They're doing an excellent job.
3 minutes and counting. McNeil trying to, probably here in the first quarter with the wind the way it is, just get through the first quarter. Lee had a chance to get some big points on the board, but they stop him on 4th down. They go off, now 2 wing back set. Lone setback is Rogers and a timeout from McNeil. Both teams kind of obviously juiced up for this game. We're going to keep it here. And again, Robert E. Lee with a 7-0 lead. And I think they're going to bring in the pass defense. Again, they're going with only one cornerback now, as Lee feels like at some point, Greg Smoke, that they can have even Cole Skates, who we know is very fast, runs a 4.45. He can line up with a couple of outside receivers as a linebacker, which is kind of a nice thing to be able to do.
Yeah, McNeil really hasn't tried to throw the ball that much. They did in their first series, but Lee's been wrapping up Cameron Rogers, not letting him get a lot of yards, and you'll see Qued Nicholson come in when they feel that McNeil probably has a chance to throw the ball.
Well, they're going to have to throw the ball, it looks like, to have any success, and they're hoping to get that win behind them. If they can make a difference, it would maybe be with the win with the 6'4" receiver, and it just makes a difference, Randy, mentally when you have the wind in your face or the wind behind you. When it's in your face, you feel it, you feel like you're going uphill, even though if you're running the football, it shouldn't make any difference.
It's a nice gushy one today, and it does have an effect on both offenses. At least right now, McNeil's moving right into it.
So second down, 14, Mavericks of McNeil from Round Rock, Texas. First time they've ever won a playoff game was this year when they beat Bowie, and then they beat the Woodlands. From their 28, lone setback is Rogers, tight end far side, Andrews in motion. Parker up the middle, Rogers gets a seam, close to 7, 8, 10 yards. He's got a first down maybe. That's a very good run. Takari and Cuba got him, but on 2nd and 14, he got 12 yards and sets up a manageable 3rd and 2 right here, and that's what I talked about. Not only do you got to get him, you got to pick him up and get him to the ground.
He's very shifty. He finds a little hole off of right guard who makes a nice block on that right side for McNeil, Anthony Vela, and he cuts through, and then he runs in to Takari and Cuba and pushes him back a few more yards.
You can feel a little momentum shift here on that 4th down stand by McNeil. 3rd and 2 at the 40-yard line. Here's Parker, wingback reverse, first down. Andrews outside the 45. They gave Lee a little bit of their own medicine there. And a gain of 6 out to the 46. And a first down for McNeil. Cole skates, and he had some room to run. Nice tackle by Cole in the open field.
It looks like a Robert E. Lee offensive play. They run misdirection back to the inside, and a nice little hole for Andrews to jut through, and he picks up the first down with a 6-yard gain.
And it keeps that clock moving with them going against the wind, trailing by 7 under 2 minutes now. Lee shifts around on defense, and there's movement, and I think movement against McNeil. Lee is really shifting around quite a bit. Sam Banks has come back in to tackle for Robert E. Lee on the running plays, and this is going to cost McNeil 5 yards back inside their 45. First penalty of this game.
Very clean, crisp ball game to this point in terms of how each team is playing. A nice competition and really a lot of feeling out process, but Lee has had the big play early to take this initial lead.
Getting the feel from the league coaches during the week, it was they were hoping to be able to jump on McNeil. They were ready for the 48 minutes, but they were hoping to jump on him early if possible. They got the quick 7 on T.Y.'s touchdown run. 1st and 15 now. Parker the quarterback. Draw play. Rogers! Absolutely gobble, Thanksgiving time. Sam Banks, there's a loss of 5.
Oh, Sam Banks just whips the guard in front of him. Ryan Finley had no chance as he was out-quick to the gun, and as soon as he gets the ball, Rogers is pounded for a 4-yard loss.
And I got a feeling that Rogers probably heard something, because nobody talks probably more than Sam Banks. Ask Gary Fleet in the offensive line meetings. Gary every once in a while has to pull out that little paddle just to make sure he's in control of those offensive line meetings. Now imagine after he gets a big, almost like a sack there, a loss of 5. 2nd down, 20.
How you do?
McNeil at the 36-yard line. Shotgun, Jadrian Parker. Levin's far side, fakes the draw. Wants to throw, over the middle, pass, tip, almost picked off. Great coverage by Dominique Van Sant. Also there was Cuba. Micah Johnson almost got the pick, and it's 3rd and 20. A dangerous pass by the quarterback, Jadrian Parker.
Well, what Lee's doing now, they just are so well coached and so well schemed on defense. They pick up every receiver, all 3 of them that are out to the right side, the right hash of the field, and they just do a great job of coverage, David, and they lock that play down and almost pick it off.
46 seconds to go, opening quarter. Lee would love to force him to punt here into the wind. Levins splits far side with 15. That is Jake Lausman. In motion, Andrews. Lee with a 3-man front. They run the draw play to Rogers. 35 and nothing. Oh, did Matt Uzel hit him right in the mouth. Jacoby McKenzie forced him, and then Matt Uzel third tackle early in this game, and they got little yardage out to the 38, 4th down and 17.
They run that draw, and initially it looks like he has a little bit of a push 3 or 4 yards downfield, and then 3 white shirts are there, led by McKenzie up the middle to bear him down.
4th down, punting is Levitz, who turned it over last time and forced Bush into the fair catch. From his 38 is where the snap will come, from Matt Willie, number 54. Play clock has not yet started. 5 seconds, they're going to let this thing, they never started the play clock, and it's going to allow them to punt with the wind. Have no idea what the official was thinking, but Ed Weldon never started the play clock and allowed them to run out the clock and force a punt with the wind at the end of 1 from Waco. Robert E. Lee 7, Round Rock McNeil nothing. We're back in 30 seconds on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Hi, I'm Angie Billings. I have taught at Lee for 11 years. I teach English, and you're watching TISD football on Cox.
Know what I like about Texas? There ain't no place that I'd rather be. You got a much nicer pace, the family has its place, and you can still find a wide open space. Dairy Queen's what I like about Texas, from the blizzard to the dude, man, I know. From the cities out to the ranches, there's a DQ wherever I go. DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on that.
Man, I'm out of here.
Fellas,
you're out of your mind. That's not.
Where you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive the stick?
Car shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine and Tyler.
And with the start of the second quarter here in Waco on a windy but beautiful day. Sunshine, there's not a cloud anywhere. If it is, we can't see it. First punt with the wind for Levens. Snap from Willie, good snap, good catch. Gets it off, high, wobbly punt that will hit at the lead 25, hits up in the air, bounces inside the 20 and will roll down inside the 10. Oh my goodness. That's about a 25-yard roll inside the 10, and Lee will start back at their 9, 53-yard punt by Levens. And I think one of the concerns that Tony had there was that the ball did not come out of there as well, and it kind of hit a little short. The biggest concern for Mike Owens and staff was that Quet Nicholson was right where the ball was, and they kind of got him out of the way. So Lee now had the wind. They got 7. Now they go against the wind from their own 9-yard line. This is where you got to make sure you take care of the football. The defense has done their job. The offense got the big run by T.Y. Jonathan Williams will split to the near side. Straight eye formation for Lee. Man on man up front. Peyton Price, not much there. Got a yard out to close to maybe the 10. Ada Holly and Matt Williams. Williams and Holly very active, numbers 45 and 90. And it's second down, and we'll still say 10.
3 possessions in the first quarter for McNeil, and 3 punts are what come from it. Is Lee's defense is controlling the tempo early on.
Second down and 10. This is when you would love to run the football into the wind, especially with the lead. Offset eye. Josh Hill. Play action bootleg, rolls near side, has room to run. Block, 30, 15, 20, 25. Nice run. out to the 34-yard line. Estes, the safety, and Moshe were there. I was going to say blocked by Blake Larman. He never had to hit anybody. Gain of 24. Christian had the block.
Well-designed play, and it just fools everybody. As a matter of fact, the safety, Estes, cheats to the far side of the field as the play's going because the alignment is set to the right side. Josh makes the spin around to the near side and outruns 3 or 4 blue shirts for a nice big first down gainer.
Well, if you needed a chance to change up that interior front 3 that McNeil was trying to get real active, that could do it. A nice run. Of course, he had the 77-yard guard against Garland when the gas tank went empty. T.Y. up the middle. Nice, tough run. Outside the 35 to the 38, Estes and Holly were there, along with Sybils, the linebacker. And a gain of about 4 for T.Y. You know, Lee has had so many big plays on the running game with Peyton Price and T.Y. and Jason Williams. You don't see many of those 4- and 5-yard runs because they break so many long ones.
Well, a 7- or 8-minute drive would just be fantastic for Mike Owens and company. And Lee is very patient. That time, Tyrone Ross is very patient as he wheels ahead for 4.
That bootleg, he had a caravan in front of him. 2 backs on the wing side. They go T.Y. wide. Banks cut block. First down 40. Midfield. Nice run. Stephen Christian leads the way as well, but Sam Banks with a great pull job. He's having a whale of a game. Down to the McNeil 48-yard line and a gain of 15 yards.
Well, Sam Banks just finds the safety coming up to try to make the stop in open field, and he just lays him down right on his knees and pushes out, and the Tyrone goes right around the block with great vision and picks up a nice big 15-yarder.
Great running backs can help the offensive line set up the run. They get the little fake little gimp leg, and they bounce it outside. He didn't have to worry about that because he had clear sailing. At the McNeil 48, offset on. First down and 10, Robert E. Lee. Peyton Price up the middle, lost. No, he got back to the line of scrimmage, drilled that time by number 50, Brian Parks, and they're starting to read that little wham play, fullback trap at times, but Lee's not going to stop running that because they are very patient with it, and eventually Peyton will break it for a touchdown. It's now 2nd down and 10.
Nice aggressive defense that time for McNeil as Parks shoots the gap and guesses right and runs right smack dab into Peyton Price and brings him down for no gain.
But remember, they've got to worry about that along with T.Y., along with Jason Williams, and that could set up something else later on. 2nd and 10, Lee at the McNeil 48, leading by 7. Josh Hill will throw against the wind. Sideline pass, overshoots his receiver. Tony Bush at the 38. And it's 3rd and 10, Lee at the McNeil 48-yard line with 9:02 to go in the first half.
And Josh just sails that ball. It's really high, and throwing into the wind, he probably tried to overcompensate a little bit, and the ball just rose up and off the fingertips of the intended receiver on the far side.
Robert E. Lee, 3rd down and 10 now. Only 7-0 right now as they almost jumped out, remember, to a quick 14-0 lead on that second drive. They almost busted T.Y. for a score. But McNeil held. 3rd and 10. Back to throw, Hill. Throw back the other way. It's Peyton Price. Gets a block. No, he does not. Great play by the linebacker as he was able to get in the space of Brian Culp. And Lee will lose 4 on the throwback to Peyton Price, a play that Lee and Dowin told me they would have success with today. Not there. It's 4th down, punt time for Josh Hill.
Brian Parks just is a fantastic linebacker. He just whips the block of Culp and gets outside and is able to bring down Peyton Price, who tries to run around him, but he can't do so.
Josh Hill now will punt. He's had a great year, 41.9 yards per punt. This is going to be against a stiff, probably 25 to 30 mile an hour wind coming from the north. Peyton Price is the up back, and Lee now has been stopped on their 2nd consecutive drive. That one nibbled into the McNeil territory. Snap, hold. Josh turns it over against the wind. Sybils lets it hit at the 10. At the 5, can they down it? No, they let it get into the end zone. Oh, that's a great hustle job by Adrian Beard trying. He should have just batted that sideways, but a good hustle. 52-yard punt, and McNeil gets the ball with the wind at their 20, down by 7.
Well, he almost got to it. About the 4-yard line, he reached for it, and his movement that way towards the goal line just pushes the ball right in the end zone too, but a nice effort for Beard.
Hey, one thing you think about, when I was talking to Robert Wilcox, he said, David, we need to hang around. 8 minutes to go first half. It's 7-0 lead. They've looked pretty explosive, but McNeil's defense has made some adjustments and stopped the potent offense. 3 receivers near side, Levens, Andrews, and Lausman. Far side, it is Brandowan. They send Andrews in motion from the 20. Back to throw, Parker. Wanting to go deep, he's got a man open, Andrews. Caught it, midfield. 40. Cuts it across the green at the Lee 30 to the 28-yard line. He was wide open, Craig Smoke.
Nick Mitchell looked like he bit on that play. He stopped running with the receiver. That allowed the receiver to keep on running right down the sidelines, wide open. By the time Mitchell knew it was a pass, the receiver was already about 10 yards ahead of him, and therefore a long pass play there for McNeil.
52 yards, and Coach Wilcox telling me he felt like he could get his team on a couple of deep patterns, and that was when Lee, of course, had only the one corner and had a safety on Andrews. First and 10 at the Lee 28, 7:42 to go. McNeil driving. Pitch back to Rogers on the outside, breaks a tackle, down to the 24-yard line. Got about 3. Jason Stripling almost peeled that thing out, but he got 3 yards and it's 2nd and 7.
Pulling from the right side, Anthony Vela, the guard, makes a nice clear back block on Van Zant, but Stripling cuts back inside and attempts, as you mentioned, to tear the ball away from Rogers, but he can't do so as Rogers puts both arms around it.
Got to be careful when you do that you also grab his jersey or something in case you don't peel it loose. He can keep falling forward. McNeil down 7. Levens and Andrews to the far side. At the Lee 24, 2nd down and 6. Here is the pass. Parker in the pocket, going over the middle. Here's Andrews, caught it. Touchdown. And they beat the corner and the safety. Cuba was not able to get over in time, and McNeil, 24 yards, has tied this thing up with the impending extra point.
The southpaw with a great touch just lofts it over 2 Red Raider defenders, and Andrews has him beat by a couple yards as he dances in the end zone and makes the catch for McNeil.
Well, Lee was worried about Levens. They need to worry about Dusty Andrews, who has 2 catches for 76 yards on that drive, and he was French wide open as he had beat both the corner and got behind the safety. Here's the snap, extra point is good. 6:52 to go. McNeil 7, Lee 7. Back in 60 seconds on News Talk 600, KTBB.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed?
Yeah!
Are we going to trade paint without fear?
Yeah!
Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Hi, I'm Becky Martin. I've been with TISD for 19 years, and I teach English here at Robert E. Lee, and you're watching TISD football on Cox.
There is a reason McNeil is here. They beat the Woodlands, and they have tied Robert E. Lee 7-7. And you heard the explosion on the near side, the McNeil crowd. 6:52 to go in the first half. The big pass play to Andrews, and then the touchdown pass to Andrews.
3 plays, 80 yards, and 110, and great execution for McNeil on that short drive.
Kicking off now is Parker. He does it all. Here's the high kick, deep, and it's T-wide about the goal line, and he will bring it out at the 5, at the 10. Hit at the 14-yard line and driven backwards by 3 McNeil players. And all of a sudden, the Tiger has gotten loose, and McNeil's starting to believe here. Andrews, Williams, and Moore. Now the Lee offense had the quick drive, and one of the worst things could have happened is this is pretty easy. And it's now 1st and 10, Lee at their 13-yard line. Remember, the last drive they had at the 9, they got to the 48, then went backwards. Blake Larman will start at center, and this is when you got to rave. This is a quarterfinal round football game. People are here for a reason, and McNeil, that was a very impressive response, but it was the defense that really kind of kept him in early because Lee had such great field position. Offset eye, Lee at the 13. They run T-wide, right tackle, breaks the tackle out close to the 15, shoves forward to the 17 for 4 yards. And I tell you right now, Parks, the linebacker, makes the stop. But Parks, Hawley, and Williams and Hawley, the linemen, and Parks, the middle linebacker, are tremendous active players on defense.
So they attack the ball carrier, and they make it hard for the blockers to get them because they're shooting the gaps. And one of these plays, Lee's going to bust one out because of that, because they're going to outguess them and outwit them.
2nd and 6, Lee now. Offset eye, Price the up back, and T.Y. the deep back at the 17-yard line. He got 4. Tight end far side, T.Y. up the middle, 30, 40. Can he outrun Estes, the safety? At the McNeil 40, at the 30, inside the 20, and knocked out of bounds. He ran out of gas at the 20. You just said it, Randy. He just went 63 yards. Lee's at the McNeil 20. Banks, Larman, Culp, Christian, and Black up front with a great block.
Well, they're shooting over the tackles, in between the guards and the tackles, leaving the front wide open. If the safety's not there up front in an 8-box setup, he goes outside. He just outruns Estes to the far sideline.
I will have fun with T.Y. If they win this game. I'll say you didn't get outrun. You ran into the wind and ran out of gas. It's like running uphill. 63 yards, plus you're right, the kickoff return. Good point, Craig. 1st and 10, Lee at the 20 of McNeil, trying to respond. Offset eye, Jason Williams, the deep back, is Peyton up the middle. Parks got him after a gain of a couple. Parks is a 6'1", 200-pound junior. 108 tackles, 2 sacks, and has caused 3 fumbles, a gain of a yard for Peyton Price.
Well, that's about 9 tackles a game, or 10, so he's very active, and you can see why he responds to the football so well for McNeil on their defense, and that's why they're pretty salty, because that linebacker play.
T.Y. has 8 carries for 152 yards, including the 47 and then that 63-yard run. T.Y. on the wingback position, 2 receivers, Amy and Bush near side. Wingback reverse as T.Y. makes a man miss at the 20, down to the 15. Here's a huge 3rd down. He got 4. Ada Holly, the junior nose tackle, makes the stop, but here's a very important 3rd and 5.
Well, it is, David, and thus far Lee is 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, and of course the first time they were stopped on 4 downs with a great defensive surge from McNeil, so this will be Lee's chance to break that 0 percentage on 3rd down conversions.
They don't quite need the 14, and they're just inside between the 15 and 14-yard line. Tony Bush was somewhat uncovered on that particular formation. 3rd and 4, straight eye. Josh Hill, play action pass. He's got a man downfield. Now he throws over the middle. Caught! Simpson, touchdown! And he made a great catch. First of all, give the offensive line credit for protection. He wanted Giles. He brought the safety over. He found Simpson wide open, who reaches behind him, makes the catch. 15-yard touchdown, Robert E. Lee.
And evidently Matt Savels was fooled badly. He thought he was going to run the ball and play action bait. He took it and left Simpson so wide open, no one around him within 10 yards, and Josh finds him and threads a needle for 6.
But you have to have enormous amount of time to make that throw. They were worried about Giles in the seam off to the right. He ran a beautiful pattern to take the safety out of position. Here comes the extra point again into the wind. Giles will snap it. Snap, Hill with the hold, kick by Skates is up, and it is just inside that right upright. That thing kind of lifted up in the air like a lob wedge in golf. 4:23 to go. First half, Robert E. Lee's offense responds 14-7. Robert E. Lee back in 60 seconds.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
I'm Aura Taylor, and I've been with TISD for more than 3 decades, and you're watching TISD Football on Cox Communications.
Robert E. Lee's defense gave up the scoring drive, but Lee goes 87 yards on that one.
5 plays too, David, 219, and a big running play. Got him 63 of it, and then the touchdown connection, Simpson taking it from Josh Hill for 6.
Kicking off Johnson, remember, into a stiff wind, approaches, line drive, and he will send this one way back to the goal line. And they will bring it out from the 2 yards deep. Breaks a tackle. 25-30, 35-40. Wow, Quet Nicholson may have just saved a 100-yard kickoff return. 47-yard return, and Quet Nicholson is down right now. Terrence Moshe, and it looked like they had him deep, but whenever a guy juggles a kick return, it seems like everyone settles down, and McNeil with great field position. Quet Nicholson comes off the field. He saved the touchdown return of 102 yards.
Well, he just does a great job of finding a hole. The wedge came down, and he found a little crease, and he cut back to the near side, then back outside, and 2 Red Raiders are there to bring him down.
Robert E. Lee now defensively. Can they respond from giving up the points? McNeil at their 47, Andrews in motion. Now back the other way, play action Parker trying to go to the middle, going deep. Micah Johnson in coverage, tips it away. Great job by Johnson on the big boy Levens. And I tell you what, Lee defensively may have gotten away with something early in that pattern. The big tight end, number 11, Arndt, had a jersey grab to keep him from getting loose, and they're going to try to heave it deep against these Lee's defensive backs.
And just as Parker releases the ball, Lacey just buries him, and he's bending over a little bit. He took a shot to the rib cage by Lacey, who nails him just as soon as he delivers the pass.
Gabriel Lacey, Bobby Osborne, Nick McLean, Sam Banks, and Jacoby McKenzie all rotate a tackle. 2nd down, 10. Trying to loosen up the lead defense. Here's a pitch to Rogers, gets nowhere. Warren DeHaven just, well, you got to give Stripling credit. He took 71, Garrett Nelson, and shoved him back into the hole, and DeHaven, with great perimeter, side-to-side speed, was there for the stop and no gain. It's 3rd and 10.
Well, Stripling took on 6'4", 233, and just put him down in his tracks, closing off the gap for the little tailback Rogers to try to run through, and DeHaven wraps him up for nothing.
3 minutes, 40 seconds, clock running. Rogers has 11 carries for 26 yards. 14-7 lead. 3rd and 10. Tight end near side. Parker back to throw, play action. In trouble, pressured, throws, pass, caught. 1st down, right at the marker. Great catch by 86 TJ Hartfield. Right at the Lee 43. If that thing hangs up another second to carry, and Cuba goes the other way, but it was a tremendous throw by Parker on the run, and it's a 1st down, it looks like to me.
Really across his body, too. He's a fine little quarterback and throws the ball with a little bit of zip on it from the southpaw arm, and makes a nice connection on that play.
There's also a great catch as well by Hartfield, the tight end. 6'2", 203 senior, as that thing floated, but he got enough on it. I think he has a 1st down. We're right on the 43, and it is a 1st down. It's a big 3rd down conversion. They are not afraid, it appears to me, to throw the ball against the lead defense. They would rather take their chances trying to get chunks of yardage downfield, especially, Randy, with the wind.
Oh, that's a key point. They would like to tie this baby up, too, and take all the clock while they're doing so.
The longer they hang around, McNeil, again, there's a lot of respect for this football team. They beat a team that knocked Lee out last year, the Woodlands, but they are 7-5, and sometimes a team like that needs a little bit more of a boost to believe, and they are believing right now, but they're trailing by 7. Here's a timeout. Lee's defense was jumping around. It looked like it may have caused some confusion for Robert Wilcox and his staff, and Lee's defense now trying to shut this thing down at their 43-yard line. And we're back at 30 seconds from Waco on News Talk 600 KTVB.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
The Tyler Independent School District employs 2,600 and serves over 17,500 students with a primary mission to ensure the academic success of every student, and also is committed to fiscal responsibility, ranking among the top districts in the state for percentage of budget spent on instruction, and receiving the prestigious Superior Financial Rating from the Texas Education Agency. We're committed to improvement, not only because it's what the people of Tyler expect, but because it's what the people of Tyler deserve.
Both teams have just one timeout remaining. McNeil takes the timeout on 1st and 10 at the Lee 43, and they are flooding, not only flooding receivers downfield, they're going 10, 15, 20, 30 yards downfield. And Parker is getting just enough time, so Lee might have to try to do something with a stunt to get in his space at the Lee 43. 3:03 to go in the first half. Levens, in motion. Draw play, Rogers bounces outside, back inside for just a couple of three, down to the 40, close to the 39. Uzell and Mumphrey were there. Cordero Mumphrey had that big pick last week against Berkner that really continued to jack up the defense that almost threw the shutout. 2nd down and let's say 6 now for McNeil.
Coach Wilcox is a pretty nice little offensive coordinator too. He's spreading the field around, throwing the ball down the field to try to open up the run for his diminutive tailback.
Trying to spread out the speed instead of having it jumped up where they can go sideline to sideline. Lee with a 4-man front if you count Dominique Van Zanten on the power sweep. Rogers maybe 2 or 3 down to the 36. He's getting a great mark. He was down at the 37. Got the 36. Banks and DeHaven were there. And boy, Warren DeHaven, does he go sideline to sideline for a middle linebacker, 5'10", 210. 3rd and 3, and McNeil most likely in 4-down territory.
Well, Stripling makes the play too by coming straight up to support the run from his bandit position and turns the play slightly back inside to help his teammate.
And they're having time-consuming drives, which keeps Lee off the field as well. 3rd down, Levens far side, Micah Johnson on him. There was movement. They didn't call it. Yes, they do. The umpire got it. The umpire got it. They were going to run Andrews on that little wingback counter, and Ryan Finley, the left guard, the 6', 228-pound senior, was leaning just a little bit early, and this now brings up a completely different call for McNeil and their staff at 3rd and 8.
And that's only the 2nd penalty of the game. Lee has none, surprisingly, and they played flawlessly, and only the 2nd thus far against McNeil, both of the illegal procedure variety.
So now 3rd and 8, McNeil at the Lee 30 or 41-yard line. They need the 33. It is 14-7. Robert E. Lee leading. Tyrone Ross went 47, and then a 63-yard run set up the 15-yard scoring pass to Walter Simpson. Andrews offset on. Watch for some sort of trick play here. Levens, the H-back far side. Play action, Parker wants to go. Sideline wide open, 1st down, or close to it. Skates with a nice hit. And Arndt was wide open. The tight end, nobody picked him up until it was too late, and I think he has another 1st down, or just shy of it at the Lee 33. And again, they're getting chunks. That was a great throw, by the way, for the lefty, Parker. 5'10", 166-pound junior, and he is very accurate on the deep throws and the short ones. Here's the stretch. I think he's just shy. He is, and we're talking maybe 6 inches. Gain of 7 officially on the play from Parker to Arndt.
Well, he's just great execution from McNeil. They're running the routes they want to run. Lee's not really responding very well in the secondary, and they're getting beat to the punch by Jadrian Parker, the little magnificent lefty.
They're flooding various parts of a zone, and they're able to get it. They're really playing very well as far as throwing the ball to the tight ends, who throughout the year have caught very few passes. Levens, think about this, they've completed 108 passes, 60 of them to Levens. Here's a 4th and inches. Jadrian Parker, the quarterback. The center is Brandon Woodyard. Up front for Lee is Sam Banks. Oh, it's actually Lacey. On 4th and inches, Parker, snap, bobbled it, and then picks it back up, and it all depends on the mark. It all depends on the mark. He bobbled the snap, and now it just depends on where they place it down. The line judge came over very quickly to mark it, and I think he's short. Craig is closer than we are and has a better view of it than we do. Craig?
Yeah, it's too close to call. If just looking at it with the eye, you're going to have to see the chain links to actually see how close it is. But, I mean, from here, it looks like he's just a little bit short. It looks like he got back to where the ball originally was and no farther than that.
They're going to stretch it. They stretch it out, and he's short. Wow. Huge break for Lee's defense, but then you got to give them credit because they had great penetration to force Parker straight down. Now the offense has little time, but the defense with a big 4th down stop right there.
Well, he dropped the ball, and in his his attempt to pick it back up. He tried to lean forward, and Lacey's there to meet him. The guard can't block Lacey, so give credit to the defensive front, but the bobble cost McNeil dearly.
It sure did. 70 seconds remaining first half, 14-7, Robert E. Lee. And Lacey underneath of all that may have created the bobble. Center, snap will come to Josh Hill. Lee now aligns their offense. They run T.Y., stretch play, right tackle, 40. First down, 45. Stop the clock with 1:04. And it keeps running. They stop it now. Parks, the linebacker. T.Y. with a nice burst and a gain of 12. He is closing in on 170 yards in this first half.
Well, he's been very impressive. He's getting great blocking, and with his ability and his speed and his vision, it's really opened things up for Lee, and they're going to keep pounding the ball down, I believe, to try to run out. They may throw the ball here to get in field goal position.
But the problem, they have only one timeout remaining. They do set the sticks. Now a minute to go in the half. Josh Hill, stretch play, T.Y., left tackle, 50. Bounces outside, 40. First down. Clock stops at the 41. 52 seconds to go, gain of 13 more.
Well, he's just reeling them off. 12 here, 13 there. Of course, 47 and 63 earlier, and he's closing in on 200 now, David. A great run by Tyrone.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Zach Dower, the safety, has made some big-time stops. Lee is going into a huddle now. 50 seconds to go, and they line up at the 41 of McNeil. 45 seconds to go. 40. Here's play action, bootleg. Hill gets outside. Block from the island. 40, 35. Another one from Saran. Inside the 20. The human island just had a tidal wave down inside the McNeil 19-yard line.
And Josh follows behind it, and the big man running at full sprint blows out 2 or 3 blue-shirted defenders. Turned one outside the first one, and Parks tries to get by him. He pushes him 5 yards downfield, and just an awesome play by an awesome talented offensive line.
His new nickname is Tsunami. 22. Josh Hill on the quarterback keeper has 46, and the best thing is he got out of bounds, stopping the clock with 33 seconds to go. Lee at the 19. Peyton Price up the middle at the 15. Breaks a tackle down to the 12, 13-yard line. Lee needs to get up and spike it now. Clock comes big time. Campbell got the stop. They thought they may have had a chance to get one up the middle. Clock is at 20. 18, spike it here, they do. Second down and 4, Lee at the 14-yard line. They have 15 seconds to go, and they have one timeout remaining. What a great run by Josh Hill, but Saran Black.
Wow.
Oh, well,
he's a man among boys
out there. You take that highlight tape and send it to the Parade All-American magazine right there.
Well, what they're doing here, they've got to have great clock management here now, David. These last 15 seconds, they may throw the ball in the end zone. They may try to run something out wide or throw it out wide to Tyrone to try to get his speed on the edges. Let's see how they handle this last 15 seconds.
All right. 14-7. Robert E. Lee leads. There are 15 seconds remaining. Kerry Ainsworth was watching Cole Skates. I think Lee is going to, who called a timeout? Lee called a timeout too. So they have no timeouts remaining as they let the play clock get down to about 2 and they called a timeout. So they now have no timeouts remaining. And 15 seconds left in the first half. So you know they're going to have to throw the ball into the end zone or to the sidelines. Cole Skates, Kerry, you were watching him in warm-ups. He was able to go from about 32, and that was it against this stiff wind. And he's got a tremendous can of a leg.
Yeah, the initial kick's not bad, but once it gets up around the goalpost, that wind just stops it dead in its tracks. He got 37, was about max.
And that's if you drill it. I mean, that's if you drill it. And Cole has kicked a 52-yarder as a freshman here at this stadium against Waco ISD, Waco High. All right, now, third down. Protection important. If you don't have anything open, if you're Josh Hill, you throw it away to where the cheerleaders can catch it, and that's about it. Bush and Simpson are both wide, double tight set, and T.Y. is the up back. 15 seconds to go first half, 14-7. Robert E. Lee with the lead, and they're giving them the full 1-minute timeout. Boy, we wish we could work with these guys all the time.
I think he's going 90 seconds, even just
That's
like the
even
crew
better.
last week. Yep.
Josh Hill now. Here comes the Round Rock McNeil, back to throw. Throw, sideline, tipped away, and I don't think Bush was there anyway. Bush was at the goal line. Brian Parks, another play by number 50. I saw Tony, who flashed open at about the pylon, but That ball would have been out of bounds by the time he caught it. And here comes Cole Skates, which what Lee hopes to be a field goal from 30 yards away. Now remember last week they had a field goal, an extra point, and a punt block, and they've worked on that throughout the week. Of course, last week Berkner had a basketball team on their front seven. The hold comes from Preston Hill. There's 10 seconds to go in the half. Skate from the right hash mark. Protection up front, snap, hold, kick, long enough, and it is good! That's a big drive, but even better, Craig Smoke, was the defensive stop that set that up, right, buddy?
Yeah, that would not have been possible if it wouldn't have been for the defense. It looked for a little while like McNeil's going to be able to go down there and tie the game up. Incredible job by the defense, and you can't say enough about those guys. They played absolutely spectacular, and they still can go in and make adjustments at halftime.
Hey, and think about this, Craig. Great job. Think about this, Kerry and Randy. They scored 10 of their 17 against the wind.
That's right. That's they can't let the wind affect the game. They can't let the wind control them.
So Robert E. Lee, 17, McNeil 7. Justin Brinker back in the studios. We'll keep it here as Lee goes from, what was it, Randy?
53 yards, 7 plays, 53 yards, David. They took the ball over the 117 mark. It's a $111. They ran 7 plays, and of course the last 2 were incompletions with the spike and then the batted down pass.
What I love about that drive is they didn't come out throwing the ball around, because then they could, if they don't get some completions, McNeil, they got 2 first downs on 12 and 13-yard runs by Tyrone Ross, who in the first half has 12 carries for 203 yards. I believe that's, nope, I checked that back. He has 11 carries for 181 yards. I gave the Hill scoop to him. Josh has 46 and Peyton has 32. You look up and Lee has 250 yards rushing in this, the opening half. 6 seconds to go on this, the 10-year anniversary of Roderick Dunn and JT Plano East. You just kind of kick this wherever you can to get a hold of somebody. It bounces around, takes a big hop, and they pick it up at the 15-20. And no Roderick Dunn here. Knocked down at the 28, and that also should end the first half. Nope, they stop it with 1 second. And with their receiving core, the way they've been able to get it, that well, you were hoping that thing might tick down to 0. But, you know, McNeil is the home team here, so they might got a little home cooking on the clock. There's no way that ball, with 6 seconds to go, that thing took a while.
That did, and the key for the lead drive too, David, they turned around a big 4th down stop on the bobble from the quarterback Parker and turned around and scored 3 points off of it, opening this 10-point lead that they should take into halftime unless a big play happens for McNeil.
All right, this is when you get a center fielder, a left fielder, a right fielder. You get one of those guys in softball where you play up the middle, and they will send Levens to the near side with Micah Johnson on him. Shade Jason Stripling, who normally is on the line of scrimmage, comes in the back. They bobble the snap, and well, he picks it up and got about 2 or 3. Boy, Jadrian Parker, his last 2 snaps, Craig Smoke with Mike Owens.
Coach, talk a little bit about those last 3 minutes of the second half. Big defensive stand by your ball club, and then able to drive down, at least get some points on the board going into halftime.
Yeah, I tell you, that was good, and we needed that. I wish we could have got a touchdown, though, and if we'd had a little better time management, maybe we would have.
Your defense has played absolutely spectacular. McNeil has found some success throwing the ball, though. What adjustments do you plan to make at halftime to try to combat that?
Well, I'm telling you, they're just throwing it up the field, trying to split the seam. They got a great wide receiver, big number 4, and he just caught the ball. You know, we just need to make a play. We had him covered.
All right, you're going to halftime with a 10-point lead. Stingy McNeil team, know they're not going to quit. What are you going to tell your team come out in the second half?
Well, we got to come back and play with a little more intensity the second half, because they know now that McNeil's pretty good, so we're going to have to play better than we did in the first half anyway.
Thanks, Coach.
Greg, thank you very much. Mike Owens and Robert E. Lee, 17-7, leading Round Rock McNeil at halftime. We'll come back with first half statistics. Justin Brinker later in the half will update you on the college football throughout the nation, and we'll also have the highlights of the first half from Waco. Lee 17, McNeil 7, and we're back with our Kid Jones Convenience Stores halftime report on KTBB.
Morning.
What's up, bro?
Welcome to the party. It's the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. Get access to more than 150 extra college football games this season.
Prepare to party. Call 1-888-SPORTS-IN and order ESPN Game Plan. Available with Cox Digital Cable.
Viewing a spectacular halftime show. Presented to you by Robert E. Lee High School.
we invite you to sit back and enjoy the incredible Southern Belle Drill Team and the fabulous Red Raider Band. High School and the Tyler Independent School District proudly present the pride of Robert E. Lee, the Red Raider Marching Band. And now, under the field direction of Head Drum Major Adrian Jones, Assistant Drum Majors Brian Kelly and Mondale Onahua, the Red Raider Band takes you back to another Carl Santana favorite, Evil Ways. And now, featuring our award-winning color guard, here's a Beatles classic from Me to You. Ladies and gentlemen, the Robert E. Lee Red Raider Band. Directors are Bobby Castillo, Sue Doug, and Cameron Bacon, with assistance from Sue Peter, Pete Baker. The color guard selector is Miss Tracy Hawthorne. The drumline assistant is Antonio Reed.
Card shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine and Tyler.
We are back in Waco, Texas. McNeil entering the field. Lee is there. And Peyton Price will represent Lee here as the officials. Again, Ed Weldon, the referee out of Houston. And they will just make sure everybody knows what's going on. Lee should get the ball to start the second half. And now it's just a matter of what Round Rock McNeil wants to win in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. But first, an update from an injury to Quet Nicholson with Craig.
Yeah, when McNeil almost busted that 100-yard kickoff return early in the game, Quet Nicholson made a huge play for Lee. Might be the biggest play of the game when it's all said and done. But he came off the field grabbing his shoulder, coming down off the ramp here at Waco Stadium. He had his shoulder pads off, had an ice pack and a sling, and so it appears he had to separate his shoulder. It's been popped back into place, but he won't be able to come back the rest of the game.
Well, and again, with the way that McNeil is wanting to throw the ball, Nicholson again had a pick a couple weeks ago and has really gained a lot of confidence. He had a great game against Berkner, forcing the run, so that will force Lee to possibly use Remember, Eric Ajiki, the starting safety, replaced by Takarian Cuba, the good-looking sophomore. So now Lee has to look at the possibility of Jeremy Moore or Adrian Beard, who both are juniors, as one of those corners. And also, I would think, Randy Johnson and Kerry Ainsworth, that because of Lee put so much emphasis on Cameron Rogers early, that it might have opened up a little passing game for McNeil, and that's something Lee might try to adjust to start this second half.
Well, they were taken aback, I think, by the great passing of the quarterback, Parker, finding his receivers inside the seams, 10 and 15 yards downfield, and also on the out routes. But you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to do a good job of making adjustments.
Well, you know that this McNeil team is good at scheming, so they realize that they're double teaming number 4, so they're just going to alternate receivers.
So here we go to start the second half. Craig Smoke on the sidelines, Kerry Ainsworth here in the booth. Our spotter, Randy Johnson, color, Justin Brinker, producer, engineer Mike LaRue. I'm David Smoke. Back deep, Jason Williams. High pooch kick that Williams will let go by him down inside the goal line and through the back end of the end zone. And that was miscommunication on he and Peyton Price. And there's that wind. And so McNeil is gambling on this, Randy. They are gambling that they can stop Lee against the wind and that they have the wind in their favor, where they scored their long touchdown on 2 long passes, one to set it up and then the 24-yarder. So they're gambling that they will stop the Lee defense or offense and get the ball back with the wind.
Well, Lee had no problem against the wind in the second quarter as they rolled off a touchdown and a 30-yard field goal into the wind. Let's see if Lee can continue that trend.
Blake Larman will start at center. Banks and Culp the guards, Black and Christian the tackles. From the 20, Peyton Price up the middle, and he lost the football, and I think McNeil recovered. They did. Wow. Jack Estes, the defensive coordinator, is going to be proud of his son Ty, because Peyton fumbles the ball, and McNeil recovers at the 24-yard line of Robert E. Lee, and isn't that a shocking way to start the second half?
Well, right off the bat, Lee is in a giving mood, and now their defense has got to bow up and keep McNeil out of the end zone and turning this into a real tight game all of a sudden.
Man, that again, you're down 10, and you're hoping you can stop them on offense, and that's the, I guess, best way to do it. The safety's been big today. They will start shotgun. Jadrian Parker with Rogers next to him. Andrews stops in motion. They take the snap, rolls straight back. Levens over the middle. Johnson is there. Great play defensively by Micah Johnson. Levens is begging in the end zone. Micah came down, and he is down in the end zone. Oh my goodness. Quentin Nicholson, one corner is out. Eric Ajiki's been lost for about a month, and now the other corner. Micah Johnson is down as he batted the ball away from Levens, and a great play, but he might be costly here. 11:48 to go. We have just started, and 2 negative things off the top. If you're Lee emotionally, the fumble, and your best corner is hurt, and they are working on his lower back, and we're back in 60 seconds on KTBB. Oh my God, guy, they can't afford to lose him. Yeah. I mean, it's hard enough with him. Just a 30, Justin.
I think he landed on his shoulder funny.
Justin, just a 30. Okay, guys, Moore and Beard. Okay? Okay, they don't even have, they have one corner right now. It's Jeremy Moore is in. Boy, that's, okay. Jeremy Moore in at cornerback, a junior, good-looking cornerback. Offset eye, 2nd and 10. Levens now takes the tight end position. They run Rogers right into DeHaven. He got stuffed for about a 2-yard pickup. That's about it. In fact, he didn't get a very good spot. Looked like he got down to about the 23. Matt Uzel and Warren DeHaven were there. And boy, you do all this halftime adjustments, and the next thing you know, you're on defense and deferring the kickoff early in the game. Micah Johnson is coming in. That is big news on 3rd down and 9.
Well, Lee responds well to adversity. Let's see if they can bone it up now and respond here.
Yeah, that'd be a huge momentum lifter if they can stop him here. First series for McNeil. Back to throw. Parker rolls near side. Pressured. Pass caught. First down. Inside the Lee 15. Right at the sticks. coverage by Johnson. Dominique Van Zant was there, and there's just a big target. And I tell you what, this Jadrian Parker is not very big, 5'10", 166, but he can throw that thing pretty much wherever he wants, and that's a huge third down conversion.
Well, he's well skilled, he's well coached, and he's very poised, and he takes his time and rolls back and throws the ball against his body once again and finds his receiver, who runs a great route on the outside along the sideline for the first down.
He's such a tall target as well. Johnson had pretty good coverage. Van Zant was somewhat in front of him, and McNeil knocking on the door. We're only a minute into the third quarter. 1st and 10. Brandewie back to the far side. Levens near side, and so is Andrews. Now they put Andrews into the split tight ends position. Motion Hartsfield far side. Snap to Parker. Steps up, no pressure. Now gets in trouble. Now runs and sacked. First of all, Banks and Sherfield forced him to step up, and Cordero Mumphrey got the sack and a loss of 3.
Well, they just do a bum rush up the middle. They beat their blockers, do Banks and Sherfield as well, and then cutting back to the near side, a great wrap-up tackle for Robert E. Lee and a big sack on a big play, too.
10:25 left. Justin Simmons comes in for Cordero Mumphrey, who looked like he got up a little wobbly. May have got an elbow to the head or a knee to the head. 2nd and 13. Play clock is down to 12. McNeil down 10 at the lead 18-yard line. Levens, big old tall drink of water, far side, man-to-man with Micah Johnson. Parker, wingback counter. Andrews gobbled up by DeHaven. Lee sees that in practice almost every day. Cuba, Skates, Simmons, and others there as well, but DeHaven made the first stop. And it's 3rd and 13 for the Mavericks of McNeil.
And Lee reads a play by the fake pitch. The quarterback turns back and hands it inside, but the 3 linebackers are not fooled at all. They follow right to the ball carrier and track him down for a no gainer.
That first down sack is big because Lee trying to find a way to get some pressure. Sam Banks, by the way, has checked out. It's Jacoby McKenzie at tackle. Triple set far side. 9:24 to go. Third quarter, motion near side. Andrews on 3rd and 13. Parker, high snap, draw play. Rogers, nothing there. Justin Simmons, who was getting held on the play, held him up, and then DeHaven came in for the clean on the assist, and it sets up a kicking situation for McNeil as he got nothing there on the draw. And that snap has been a problem for McNeil.
That's 2 or 3 times. It's a little high, and he bobbles it, and the play really disintegrates from their own. But give credit to Lee. They're winning the war along the trenches right now on their defensive front on that series.
Jadrian Parker is the kicker. He's also the punter. He's also the kickoff man. He's also the quarterback. Sells tickets during the week. He will have this spotted at the 24 of Lee. He's left-footed. Ty Estes, the safety, who's the backup quarterback, takes the snap. High snap, fake. Parker rolls left. He has no chance to get that. What a great play by Takarian Cuba, who blows that up. Lance Heap was there as well, and as he stepped up with some great plays defensively. Not only was that a fake, he had no options. Nobody was downfield to catch a pass.
Well, Hartsfield did try to cut across the middle of the field, but he's picked up by Cuba, and there's 4 white shirts chasing Parker as he just has no other place to go but out of bounds, and Lee with a huge stop to stem the tide here after the initial turnover in the second half.
There's a lead coach that was about 15 or 20 yards out on the field. Peyton Mullins, I think, and I think Jay Law was pretty upset about something. First down, Lee at the 21. T.Y. stretch play, bounces outside, cuts it back, and will get hit for a loss of a yard. McNeil defensively, Brian Parks, the linebackers, playing a great game. The 6'1", 200-pound junior. Actually, T.Y. got back to the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd down and 10.
Well, he has nowhere to go as 4 blue shirts are there, led on the play up front by Justin Harris and Michael Campbell from his linebacker spot to help wrap up on Tyrone.
8 minutes to go, third quarter. Lee's in the dogfight, 17-7. They got that field goal at the end of the first half from Skates after a 4th down stand. Jacob Amy to the near side for Lee. He's just a sophomore, gifted as he can be. Bush, far side, Simpson motion, straight eye. Up the middle, T.Y., there he goes, 25, 30, 35, first down, Robert E. Lee, gain of 15 yards for T.Y. He is at 200 yards today in this game.
But there's the hole that opens up for him after the trap play just right up the middle. Give credit to Banks and Lorman for busting open a big hole, and it takes Estes, the safety, once again to save another potential touchdown run from Tyrone Ross.
Oh, that's a big first down, a great defensive stop to give Lee the ball back, 7:30 to go, third quarter. straight eye. Simpson in the slot. Amy and Williams split receiver. Simpson in motion. We haven't seen that much this year. This is Payton up the middle. Breaks a tackle. No, he does not. They're really, really focused in on that. But that's okay when you focus in on that. That opens up T.Y. for 15. Campbell, the linebacker, on the stop. Christian with the block and a gain of 2.
Well, Hawley, the defensive tackle, number 90, does a great job of plugging up the middle, and Peyton Price has to find a maneuver to try to get through, but he has help on the backside from several of his Maverick defenders to help wrap up.
Midway through the second quarter in Nacogdoches, Longview 14, Lufkin 7. We'll update you on that when we can, but this is 17-7 Lee on 2nd and 8 from their 38. Straight eye. Tight end far side. Josh T.Y. bounces outside, block 40. First down 50 into McNeil territory and then hit late. Here comes a flag. He got run into the bench by the safety Estes or maybe Dower. And I don't know if he meant to do that, but he did it. And Lee not only has the ball at the midfield marker, but another 15 on top of that for 12 and 15, 27 total.
Well, Tyrone just finds his holes, and he finds a hole right behind Culp, the right guard, who makes a nice clear-out block on Campbell, the linebacker. And there goes Tyrone, just eases right on through and dashes to the sideline, and he's racked up. And a big, big penalty. Only the third of the whole ball game, all against McNeil on that play.
They've had 2 procedure calls, and that's 15 there. And luckily, Tyrone gets out of that bench okay. That's when a knee, ankle can get all gnarled up. So Robert E. Lee, after a very scary opening part of the second half, trying to move it here against the wind. 6:34 to go, third quarter. T.Y. has 208 yards on 14 carries, split backfield. Giles, the H-back. Pitch back, Payton, 30. Tries to get around the safety. Oh, he slipped. He was trying to make a move on Dower, so you know what? We've been watching the little fullback trap. They pitch it back, wing TJT style, and a gain of 12 and a first down. Sam Banks and Larman with a great block.
Lee's just having their way along the trenches, both defensively, now offensively. They're getting a nice push on the McNeil Mavericks, and the Mavericks really have no answer as a nice pickup of 12 and another first down for Lee.
At the 22-yard line, Bush and Giles. Giles is the H-back on the far side. Fleet, the tight end. Straight eye formation. 1st and 10. Third quarter. Here's T.Y. Not much there. They faked it to Payton. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's just getting kind of testy down there. And Williams, the defensive tackle, whom Saron Black has been kind of having his way with here in this first half, or now the second. And so Lee with a 2nd down and 10.
Well, they're running the ball, hammering away pretty much to that right side of their offensive line. Let's see if this will open up a passing situation now for Lee on 2nd and 10.
And Jason Williams, who comes in, he's had 2 long touchdown receptions, is the tailback. They will take Price and Ross in kind of a jumbo formation near side. Here is the wingback counter. Payton blocked Saron, 15, runs over the safety. 1st and goal, Lee. Tsunami, the human island, the tidal wave with another great pull and a gain of 15 for Peyton Price and a 1st and goal for Robert E. Lee at the 7.
And he just lays out. It looked like Michael Campbell, number 27, and 57, Justin Harris, just get blocked out of the way by the big man on the pull. And he has just got great feet and great size, of course, and he buries them down.
Lee has made adjustments on not just the little traps in the middle. They've kind of come up with a couple of adjustments here. 1st and goal at the 7. They got the jumbo again, near side. Stretch, Jason, bounces outside, makes the first one miss, but falls down back to the line of scrimmage at about the 7. May have lost a half a yard. Ty Estes, the safety. Boy, wouldn't this be a great time to run that again and pull the bootleg and throw it to the tight end downfield. It's 2nd down and goal.
Well, every play on this drive has been the running variety, David. All 8 plays thus far, Lee has just pounded the ball away on the ground, and that's what they wanted to do at the outset.
And it's also, as you mentioned, they've done this. They held off to the fumble, all against the wind. Look at the Tsunami, the left tackle. 2nd and 10, Jambo left Price and Ross. This is T.Y. outside, gets a block. Banks goes outside at the 10, at the 5, spins, touchdown! I thought he was down. He spun, parks the linebacker. Sam Banks with a great lead block, and Craig, you were there.
Incredible job by Tyrone Ross. He got down to about the 3-yard line. He had Parks, the linebacker, who's made big plays all day, all over him. And T.Y., a little guy but a lot of strength, dragged him into the end zone. touchdown.
He spun around almost like he was kind of doing some break dancing or something down there. He's going to get me for that one. Randy, what an impressive drop.
Wow, I know, David. 9 plays, 79 yards on a great spin move just to get away and dive on in the end zone for 6 for Tyrone, his second score of the game.
All-important extra point. Giles is the snap. He snapped, Hill with a hold, kick by Skate, drilled it. What win? 4:27 to go, third quarter. Robert E. Lee 24, McNeil 7. Kind of quiet on the home side, back in 60 seconds.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let's go.
The new DQ Mulate Frozen Blended Coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on that.
Man, I'm out of here.
Fellas,
You're out of your mind. That's not
where are you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
4:27 to go, third quarter, 24-7, Robert E. Lee. Randy?
9 plays, 79 yards, and 4:01 for the Red Raiders as they respond after a big defensive stop. They come right down and cash in for 6 and open the lead up to 17.
Terrence Moshe, who almost broke the last one, is back deep. This is a little squib kick that McNeil will pick up. No, they actually have it go through the wickets down at the 30 of the 29. And hey, when a guy goes almost 102, that's probably a smart thing to do. And sometimes you get a good bounce and sometimes you don't. And you get it in the hands of those guys who don't like to get the ball in their hands, and you never know what can happen. Josh Hill, by the way, kicked off that time because Micah Johnson, remember, was dinged up on that play where he stopped the touchdown with his going over the shoulder of the receiver Levens with his left hand, and he's out there gutting it out. Quet Nicholson has a shoulder injury. Hopefully he's going to be okay. Justin Simmons, one of the defensive ends, along with James Wilson. Jacoby McKenzie is the tackle. Lee rotates the lineman. 1st and 10 at the 29. McNeil down 17. They run Rogers off left tackle or right tackle, and he got about, that's his best run of the game. Justin Simmons and Takarian Cuba there, he got 9 yards. That is his longest or second longest run of the game.
He gets a nice block up front from Anthony Vela, and Garrett Nelson, the big guy at right tackle, push back, Stripling and company to the near side, and he just wiggles his way free for a nice 9-yarder.
Second down, McNeil, maybe a yard, not even that long at their 39, and 3:56 clock running. Levens near side. Parker, straight drop. Now has to roll. Now throws it across his body. Passes incomplete. Hey, give Jason Stripling credit. And here's a flag at the end of the play for a late hit on the quarterback by James Wilson. And that's too bad because Lee came up with a nice stop there. Wilson cut in front of the pattern. It forced Parker to run. And there's a late hit against James Wilson. And I didn't see it because it came well after the play. And that might be because there's a flag like this.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, David. They have played flawlessly thus far. This would be their initial penalty of the game against Lee, and it's a big 15-yarder. And, of course, it'll push McNeil down the field just past midfield.
Yeah, again, you would have had 3rd and 1, and we've seen them have problems with the snap. And so, you know, Yep, that's right, all the way down to the Lee 46.5-yard line. That's a huge play for McNeil. They have the win for another 3:44. Mitchell will pick up Andrews on the far side. Micah Johnson solo with Levens. 1st and 10, Round Rock McNeil with new life on the penalty. Here's Rogers up the middle. Oh my goodness! DeHaven Uzel. How about a little pancake factor? No gain.
Bringing the lumber that time. 2 Red Raiders just beat off their blocks. I don't think they were even blocked at all. And poor Cameron Rogers is the beneficiary of a smackdown job.
That was awesome. That was a decleater, as they say in
Oh,
football.
boy.
And I mean, is
Picked him
Matt
up.
Uzel, the junior, he's been in a bunch of tackles today. The Havens had a great game. Middle linebacker, 2nd down and 9, tight end near side. Arndt, not sure if he should go in motion or not. Now he does. Here's a bobble snap picked up by Lee. I think DeHaven got it. Craig might have a better look. That thing again, the bobble snap, we just talked about it, and Robert E. Lee's defense is getting a bunch of fumble recoveries of late, and I think it went right into the hands of the middle linebacker, Warren DeHaven. There's a discussion on the field as DeHaven comes out of the pile, and now we got to figure out if they're trying to make a decision on whether or not it was not a fumble or not. Timeout, 1st down, Lee. What were they talking about? Give the kids a chance. What were they discussing?
I don't know, David. It looked like they were just, DeHaven stood up first, and then the big right tackle, Garrett Nelson, picks up, and the umpire's there and the referee's there, and they're kind of discussing it amongst themselves, and Lee knows they have the football, and finally they signal back towards the northeast side of the stadium for 1st down for Lee.
Talk amongst yourselves, I guess. Ed Weldon and the Houston officiating crew. It was almost as if somebody was trying to overrule Warren DeHaven's little gift at the 46. Lee now with a 24-7 lead. Bailey is the center on this series. Tyler Fleet, tight end. Jambo, far side stretch play. That's Jason Williams. Not much there. Breaks a tackle. Outside the 48, 49, and into McNeil territory. Great lead block by Peyton Price, and there's a flag down at the end of the play. Ed Weldon may have caught somebody in a blue uniform. Little frustration on the McNeil Mavericks. 15 yards. Lee now inside the McNeil 40-yard line. Well, and anytime you see some pushing and shoving, you're going to see 42, John Giles.
He's right in the middle of it, and 3 or 4 blue shirts are around the official, too, as he throws the flag right on top of, it appeared to be Parks. He's ranting and raving, and he's trying to fire up his troops, and I believe he did a push job on the backside on defense.
All right, this is a huge point of this game, and here comes Robert Wilcox. He is furious at Ed Weldon, the referee. He wants a meeting with him. Now the clock is stopped with 2:47 to go in the game. Wilcox is 20 yards out on the field near the hash marks, getting the attention. Now Mike Owens is not going to like this much, but it does give his offense a chance to relax a little bit. And Wilcox is the only one talking right now. And I think what he's upset about is he thinks that maybe it was the second person involved who got the penalty. Well, hey, that's the way it always is.
Yeah, and Matt Savell's number 16 was right there with Parks, and the flag was actually thrown at him. And I believe he popped somebody in the back, and the official just saw it through the flag.
But John has to be careful. Yep. He is really good at kind of tempting the guy to get into it, and he's got to be careful now because they're going to be watching him like a hawk. 1st and 10 Lee. Hey, Jason Williams got 4.5, 5 yards on what looked like nothing. The big junior who has not had too many carries. Now, 1st and 10 Lee. Giles, the H-back. Split receivers near way. Stretch play. T.Y. bounces outside. 40, 35, 30, and here's a makeup call. Well, I mean, gain of about 5. And is anyone surprised there's a flag down after a controversial penalty against McNeil?
That's probably a hold that's going to come awry here, and that's what we have.
Here's my problem with that.
Too coincidental, for sure.
So Lee will have to overcome. Robert Wilcox did exactly what he wanted to do. He lured the officiating crew into a makeup call. That's exactly what happened, point blank, no question about it. Holding against Lee. And not only was there 1, there were 2. So they were going to make sure, no matter what, they were going to make sure that 15 yards got marked backwards, almost all of it. Just don't make the first bad call. 2:27 to go, 3rd quarter. Wilcox is no longer on the field because he's kind of happy, although his team's down 17 and losing their cool. Giles splits far side, Bush that way. Simpson out of the game on this one. Here's Jason Williams, bounces outside, 40, 35, 30, turns corner, 25, 1st down, no flags. 23 yards from Jason Williams. That's a nice one because he found some kind of patiently and then busted it outside and turned the corner. Great block again by Sam Banks on another pull.
And it's just a splendid block, too, as he knocks down the linebacker on the far side of the field, Michael Campbell, and Justin Williams finds a hole in the stretch play and just zooms through as he takes off to the outside for a nice first down gainer.
2:05, clock runs under 2 minutes here. Hey, we talk about the offensive lineman a lot. Carey, great job of helping us spot, but Peyton Price is kind of a little ISO blocker at fullback as well. Lone setback. Peyton up the middle, cross buck 20, 15, round the corner, lock it and go, down inside the 10, down to the 5, another gain of 18 yards and a first and goal lead. Campbell saves a touchdown.
Misdirection has McNeil on their heels, and they back off. They can't make a block or a tackle inside as he scampers free and just uses his bulldog rush to power his way on down for the first down.
Minute 45 to go. Timeout McNeil defensively, as Peyton Price also limped off the field after that play. The two guards, Banks and Culp, and Lee's almost like, I mean, it's just like a flood. I mean, a flood of offensive linemen always seem to be downfield leading the way. And this is a complicated offensive system, and then again, sometimes it looks so simple, but they've got so many things going at this defense, which McNeil's played pretty well. At times, they've played pretty well. But Lee is over 300 yards rushing, almost 4 in this game.
Well, they're just power smash mouth football right now. They're telling McNeil, here it is, we're going to blow you off the line of scrimmage, and they're having their way pretty much every play on this drive. That's 2 big plays over 20, right at 20 yards on back-to-back carries.
372 yards rushing for Robert E. Lee, and T.Y. has been able to take a break during this series. Jason Williams is the tailback. T.Y. has checked in here. Lee wanting to make sure they take care of business, and they've done this again into the wind. Brad Royals the up back in place of Peyton Price, who gets a break. T.Y. is an up back. Little old T.Y., the old fullback slot. From the 5, Josh, pitch back, Williams at the 5, down to the 3, down to the 2. Royal with a nice kick-out block on 25 Gammons. It's 2nd down and 2.
Matt Williams, though, fights off the block up front with Christian blocking him, trying to peel him outside, but he blocks him right into the play to tackle Jason Williams. Nice defensive play for Matt Williams for the McNeil Mavericks.
Royal stays in the game. Giles comes out, so do Bush and a bunch of other receivers. It is Jacob Amy, the sophomore, to the far side. Straight power eye. Josh Williams, touchdown. Touchdown with 1:09 to go. They went right behind Banks, and they went behind Tsunami, and Robert Lee's Brad Royal with a great ISO block as well, and they made that look very easy.
They're just whipping McNeil along the line of scrimmage. Their interior doesn't have a chance as the big guys up front are just pushing him back, and Williams just falls behind Banks, as you mentioned, and cut back inside and leaned over the goal line for 6.
30-7. Lee has broken open what was a tenuous situation there to start the second half because of the fumble. The defense has made 2 big stops. Here comes the extra point attempt. Giles the center. Preston Hill is the holder. Hill looks at skates, winks, snap, hold, kick, up, good. 1:09 to go, 3rd quarter. Robert E. Lee has scored 14 points against the Wind, and they lead by 24, 31-7. We're back in 60 seconds.
The daily download on Fuse. It's a countdown and free online music. But it's a long day if you're waiting for dial-up. Get Cox high-speed internet and go to Cox.net. Enter the Get Your Daily Download sweepstakes. Win a trip backstage with the host at Fuse's New York studio, or you could win a TV PC package. Activate Cox high-speed internet service and you'll get a cool Fuse watch. The daily download on Fuse, weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Download your favorite songs in seconds with Cox high-speed internet. Go to Cox.net and order today.
Car shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine and Tyler.
Know what I like about Texas? There ain't no place that I'd rather be. We got a much nicer pace. The family has its place, and you can still find a wide open space. Dairy Queen's what I like about Texas. From the blizzard to the dude, man, I know. From the cities out to the ranches, there's a DQ wherever I go. DQ, that's what
what I like about Texas.
Welcome back to Waco ISD Stadium here. The Robert E. Lee Red Raiders have taken a 31-7 lead. They score in 5 plays, 54 yards, 149 off the clock, and Jason Williams counters with a 2-yard touchdown run. David.
Kicking off a squib kick that is picked up by McNeil when they go straight to the ground at the 33. Levens, by the way, was the one who was on it, and Colby Ray was on him, and McNeil Mavericks all of a sudden. There was a time there when they tied it at 7, Randy, and then remember it was 14-7. They bobbled the snap. They've had 2 snaps inside lead territory here. Another bobble snap led to the DeHaven fumble recovery that led to those points and the long drive of 53 yards. Very methodical. Lee now closing in on 300 or 400 yards rushing. And it's been spread around pretty well with T.Y., about half of them, and Peyton Price and Jason Williams and Josh Hill getting into the act. Now, Round Rock McNeil with 1:07 to go, third quarter. Deep pitch back to Rogers. Tries to bounce outside. And you know what? Cole Skates kind of tripped him up. And he got nothing. Takarian Cuba was there anyway. He got maybe a yard, and that is it. And it's 2nd down and 9. And now all of a sudden McNeil has less than a minute to go with the wind behind them. And they had all of the things going their way to start this third quarter.
We have a turnovers that killed them, at least the last possession they had the ball. But Lee's defense is just a little too fast on the edges, and Rogers can't get free for only a 1-yard gain.
35 seconds, clock running. Levens and Brandewie near side with Johnson and Takarian Cuba. Here's a deep pitch back to Rogers, tries to cut it up, and he just gets knifed down. Warren DeHaven is having himself a game, folks. And so, too, is Dominique Van Zant. And there are all sorts of opportunities here for us to call out names eventually for the Dusty Rhodes Marine Player of the Game. Brought to you by Dusty Rhodes Marine and Tyner on Highway 155 South and Dusty Rhodes Marine Lufkin, Highway 69 South. $50 in the name of the Player of the Game goes to the KTVB Scholastic All-Stars. And don't forget, you can watch this broadcast, hear this broadcast, next Monday and Wednesday on Cox Communications channels 18 and 62, thanks to Glow in the Dark Productions and Cox Communications. Back at the end of the third quarter, Robert E. Lee 31, McNeil 7 on KTBB.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on it.
Man, I'm out of here.
Fellas,
You're out of your mind. That's not
where you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
I'm Aura Taylor, and I've been with TISD for more than 3 decades, and you're watching TISD Football on Cox Communications.
Justin Simmons is checked in at defensive end for Lee along with James Wilson. It is 3rd and 9. Sam Banks is the tackle for Lee, and Round Rock McNeil facing a 3rd and 9, down by 24. Play action to Jadrian Parker. Oh, there's a flag. No, they don't throw it. Pass caught. The official, I cannot believe James Wilson, his shoulder pads are showing. He grabbed it, didn't throw it, pass complete to Arnn out to the 48-yard line. That's incredible. Gain of 12, first down.
Well, the official just turned his head away, it appeared, and And just a nice connection for the quarterback as he found his receiver in the flat, and a nice defensive attempt by Johnson, who tried to knock the ball away, but it's a nice catch for McNeil.
114 yards passing for Parker. Arnis had a couple of catches. Draw play, quarterback keeper, Skate and Uzel were there for a gain of about 2.5. Right at midfield, just into McNeil territory. And you hate to see a kid who's about to get a sack not get it because he was drawing a holding call, but all for naught. 2nd down and 8 now for McNeil at midfield with 11:20, and they're starting to try to show more urgency. Getting out of the huddle. Andrews in motion far side. Cuba shadows him, stretch play. Rogers, no way. You got to be kidding me. If they don't know by now, DeHaven, Cuba, Stripling, and listen to the league crowd on the far side. They are blowing up McNeil tonight.
Well, DeHaven shoots the gap and reads the play beautifully, and he's in the backfield just after the running back gets the ball, and he buries him, and Cuba comes in to help polish him off. The lead defense flexing its muscles when they can, and they need to right now as they hold a nice 24-point lead.
Warren DeHaven started before the year started. There were thoughts about having surgery because of meniscus tear. He played through that, had a severe ankle sprain against Lufkin, came out after a couple of weeks, and has gone nuts since it. 3rd and 8. Lee's dancing around. They got a 5-man front here. Back to throw. Parker rolls near side, pressure, throws, man open, caught 45, 40, first down inside the 40. At the 36, and Skates knocks him out of bounds. And I'll tell you what, their play action, whenever they've had success, it's been to the sidelines. That's Andrews for a gain of 14.
Well, the quarterback just really, most times his execution is pretty flawless, except when he's not getting the snaps down today, and that's been a big bugaboo. But he just finds his receiver in the flat who's open and makes a nice connection once again for the first down.
So now 10:18 to go. Clock stopped. He got out of bounds, and another 3rd down conversion at the Lee 36. Here's the deep pitch back. Rogers for about 4. DeHaven again. Longview leading Lufkin 14-10 at the half. Longview leading Lufkin 14-10 at halftime, trying to break an 8-game losing streak to the Panthers in what has to be a great setting in Nacogdoches. We've got ours kind of like a lot of red and black on the far side, as Lee's trying to get to the semifinals for the 2nd time in 3 years. He got about 6 on the play. That was Rogers on the carry. He's got 51 yards on 19 carries. Tight end far side, Levens, the H-back, in a timeout. 9:39 remaining. We're back in 1 minute. Lee 31, McNeil 7, right here on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on that.
Man, I'm out of here.
Fellas,
You're out of your mind. That's not
where are you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
For the best treats and eats and hottest winning in Texas, you gotta go to DQ. Only DQ's got the classic 4-piece all-white chicken strip country basket served with fries, Texas toast, and the best green gravy anywhere for just $3.99. Only DQ's got a cool creamy banana split made with DQ soft serve for $1.99. And only DQ's got the peel away giveaway game where you can win food, treat prizes, or your chance to win a brand new Dodge Ram 1500 Lone Star Edition pickup.
.9:39 to go. Round Rock McNeil at the lead 31. 2nd and 4. Fake the draw. Parker sets up over the middle. Man wide open. Caught it. Touchdown. Cameron Rogers. They had a middle seam pattern. 31 yards. And he was so wide open, as Lee may have brought the blitz and just didn't have enough people to cover him.
Well, that's exactly what happened. And he set him in the slot, and he just takes off and kind of eases his way past the line of scrimmage and darts on out, and his quarterback finds him and lofts it up, a beautiful little pass. He catches it at the 10 and dances on the end zone with a great speed.
Lots of time to go. Here comes a new kicker now for the McNeil Mavericks. This is Daniel Panani, number 63. Here's the snap, here's the kick, and it is no good. He missed it to the left. So 9:32 remaining. McNeil on a couple of big third down conversions, and when they have beaten Lee, Randy, they've beaten Lee down the field deep on the seams to Andrews once, and that time to Rogers.
Well, the passing offense for him has been efficient. It's really kept them in the game. It's the only true bright spot they've had today. As the quarterback looks like a nifty when he's just a junior. He'll be back next year. Not a big guy, but he's real smart and efficient for McNeil.
And he, again, Rogers on the, he has not been able to get loose at all running the football, but he just kind of squirted through there. It's hard to see him. He's 5'4". Beautiful throw, 31 yards, extra point, no good. 9:32 to go here in the fourth quarter in Waco. Robert E. Lee 31 and McNeil 13. Now, you got to start wondering, how soon does McNeil start to think about onside kicks?
Well, maybe right now, because they don't have a lot of, 9.5 minutes is a long clock actually, but the way Lee's moving the ball and controlling the ball on offense, they really have to make a move to try to get the ball back in their offense's hands.
Southlake Carroll, Class 5A, Division II, Region 1 semifinal, leading Abilene 28-17 with 4 minutes to go at Texas Stadium in Irving. Lee's got everybody up front. Craig Smoke, good call on the hands unit at about the 50 all the way to their 38-yard line.
McNeil scoring summary, David. 8 plays, 67 yards, and 335, with the tailback making the reception on the touchdown from his quarterback, Parker.
Parker will approach it, hits it a little pooch kick, and it's going to be caught by Tyrone Ross, and he lost it, but then grabbed it. Oh, there's that win for you. That thing held up quite a bit. T.Y. misjudged it a little bit, but there's a nice job of getting back on it at the Lee 31-yard line. You know, that kind of the wind really hurt McNeil there, because if they could have had a little more distance, there was really nobody there for Lee. And Tyrone, of course, with the great speed, almost like a center fielder going up against the warning track, touching the wall with his hand, and then going back up to make the catch. Now, here is a huge drive. Lee up by 18 with 9:32 to go, trying to ice this thing away. Amy far side for Lee. Giles the H-back. Tight end is Fleet. They run it up the gut. That's Jason Williams. Makes a man miss out to the 37-8-yard line. Brian Culp, nice lead block along with Banks, and a gain of about 7 yards for Jason Williams. He's starting to put up some numbers. He has 40 yards on 6 carries now.
Well, Lee's offensive line is just handling the front 4 or 5 up front for McNeil, getting another nice push. All the linemen are playing exceptionally well today, and that's why Lee has racked up a nice running game as well.
31-13, Robert E. Lee. Jonathan Williams splits near side. Giles, the H-back, this way, offset I with Brad Royal, the fullback. They run Brad on the counter, 40, first down, 45, hold on to the football, first down, Lee at the 45. Brad Royal got 7. Craig, we need to get an update on Peyton Price, who's been out since that nice run inside the 5. Culp and Christian there for Lee, but a gain of 8 and a first down for Brad Royal. 8:47, they set the sticks, start the clock back up again. And here's a guy, Brad Royal, remember, who we thought may have been lost for the year, but came back 2 weeks later.
He's done a great job backing up, and also special teams. He's a special player for Lee, and Lee keeps their drive alive and keeps pounding down the field.
At their 45-yard line, tight end is Fleet. Run the stretch, Jason Williams cuts it inside. Here comes a flag from the umpire. And that will cost Lee 10 yards, and there's 8:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. Sibbles, by the way, the outside linebacker, Matt Sibbles, the junior, 5'11", 185, is down at the Lee 45, and we'll be back in 30 seconds on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let go. Never!
The new DQ Mulate Frozen Blended Coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
I am the king of home entertainment, or the Archduke at least, because I have Cox Digital Cable. Cox has more high-def choices than ever before, and nearly all the high-def programming is free. How cool is that? Cox has great movies and sports programming in high def, plus an interactive program guide that helps you find what you want, when you want, all with no equipment to buy or long-term contract required. You just can't get all that with satellite.
The Tyler Independent School District employs 2,600 and serves over 17,500 students with a primary mission to ensure the academic success of every student, and also is committed to fiscal responsibility, ranking among the top districts in the state for percentage of budget spent on instruction, and receiving the prestigious Superior Financial Rating from the Texas Education Agency. We're committed to improvement, not only because it's what the people of Tyler expect, but because it's what the people of Tyler deserve.
Mike Owens just gave the linesman an earful on the far side. Craig Smoke on the sidelines may have gotten a wind of that, huh?
Yeah, it was a little quiet over here, and you could hear Coach Owens attacking the referees about the holding call, saying that his guys are actually the ones getting their jerseys held, and the fans over here love that a lot. So that's
their coach is fighting for their football team or for his football team, and Sybils gets up, and he's going to have to be helped off the field, and that's too bad because he's played a good game. The junior, what is kind of like what Lee does with Nick Mitchell and Jason Stripling, safeties who play up on the line of scrimmage, who can get pretty physical, and he's having to be helped off the field. And so Mike Owens may be feeling as if there's a little sympathy factor going on here as Sybils comes off the field. We've seen, since the John Giles personal foul against Round Rock McNeil, we have seen 4 penalty flags, all against Robert E. Lee. 3 of them, of course, 2 of them offset each other because there were 2 holding calls in the same play.
Well, that was kind of entertaining, being able to hear Coach Owens right there barking at the official. We could hear him through our headsets too, through Craig being close enough, and you hear a nice little crowded roar of laughter because he is really barking up a storm over there.
Sybils is replaced by Scott Nepper because of the injury. Nepper's a backup bandit, rover type player. Tony Bush and Walter Simpson are to the near side. Amy is the far side. 8:05 clock runs here. 1st and 10 Lee at their 36. Jason Williams bounces it outside and knocked down by 44 on a nice play that stops him for a loss of a couple of yards. And number 44 is Joseph Barr. And Lee still needs to kind of maybe get something on the board, and would love to see maybe a little pass downfield, but you also have the game in control. You don't want to see something silly happen to turn this thing around.
Well, you don't want to get too complacent either and be too conservative, because they've got, what, 20-some-odd yards to go here on the upcoming play.
But really, if you think about it, for Lee, a running play is not even conservative in a way, because they've just had gaping holes at times. 2nd down and 12. Lee at their 34. Josh will throw. Play action, sets up in the pocket. Now looks this way, and he's going to be sacked back inside the 25. He was trying to find Giles, who was going the opposite direction, and there was what looked, at least by our standards here, a safety valve, and he loses 11 yards, and Terrence Moshe blitzed that time and got the sack.
Well, he wanted to throw the ball up. At the last second, he decided to tuck it and duck under, and almost broke free from the 2 defenders coming in to sack him, and he wisely hits the ground and retains possession of the ball.
6:45 remaining, 31-13. Robert E. Lee up by 18 here, which is a 3-possession game any way you look at it. Simpson now will split far side. Moshe will pick him up man-to-man. Wingback is Giles, offset eye. Here is the stretch play to Jason Williams, spins away outside the 25 to the 27. They just went and said, okay, listen, We've got the wind. Let's keep the ball, be smart, punt it away, and play great defense. Christian there initially on the block for Robert E. Lee. He limps off the field. And here comes Josh Hill now to take the snap from Giles.
And he's taking all the time he can take off as the play clock just starts, but we're going to dip under 6 minutes here left in the ball game. Very wisely, he'll take every second that he can before he punts the ball away.
You know, in the last couple of 3 games, Lee has run the ball so well they have not had to throw it. That's a good problem.
You bet.
But they really have not had a breakout game throwing the ball, and 11 yards passing today. Giles with a low snap, and Josh can't field it. Punts it anyway and gets it off. Line drive punt, fielded at the 25 or 40 by Gammons. Incredible coverage downfield. Lance Heap puts Gammons in the heap. And Josh Hill with the play of the game, maybe, as that thing got on the ground, picked it up, and thank goodness he was left-footed, because otherwise it would have been blocked in the 35-yard punt, 4-yard loss in the return.
Well, what happened, the snap was a little low, and I think he might have misjudged the ball. The sun was in his eyes. It's a bright sun directly in front of him, but he's able to recover and then promptly kick the ball. Of course, he's left-footed when he kicks the ball, and he drives it downfield. A nice punt, and Lee's special teams coverage is splendid down the field, too.
Bo Banbury is checked in at middle linebacker for Robert E. Lee. Uzell is there as well. So is Trevor Reed, who had that return for a touchdown last week, as Lee goes with some backups here. Jeremy Moore, man-to-man near side with Brandewie, the senior. Here's Parker, play action, rolls near side, looks for a drag pattern, now wants to run it, gets around Reed, 35-40, and knocked out of bounds right there. Here comes a flag. Matt Uzell was diving at Parker, and the sympathy continues as that's a 9-yard pickup by Parker, and they get a 15-yard penalty as Uzell was diving for Parker, and as he dove for him, Parker stepped out of bounds, and then he hit him, and there's 15 yards.
Well, that's unfortunate because he's just trying to make a play defensively. He can't stop his forward motion. The flag comes out nonetheless, and attack on another 15 onto an 8-yard gain.
The only yardage, quite frankly, they had the 31-yard touchdown. The only yardage positively for McNeil here in the second half has been penalties.
Yep.
And the only thing that has stopped the Lee offense in the second half has been penalties. First down, they did have the sack a minute ago. First down at the Lee 44. 5.5 minutes to go in the game. Parker with Andrews in motion. Play action rolls far side. Pressure by Justin Simmons. Throws downfield, caught, and drilled and incomplete to Carey and Cuba with a very nice hit to blow that up to Arndt. As Parker, every pass he's thrown when he rolls has been to the sideline, and of course when he's done play action and stayed in the pocket has been over the middle to the tight ends down the seam.
Give credit also to Justin Simmons as he rushes Parker outside. Parker throwing against his body, makes a nice toss, but to carry and Cuba decapitates number 11 on the play. That would be the tight end Arndt, and knocks the ball free, and a great defensive play on both ends for Lee.
I don't think it would have been a completed pass anyway because he would have caught it with his body out of bounds.
Yep.
Here's the play up the middle. Rodgers, Trevor Reed was there. So was Bo Banbury, Justin Simmons, and others. A gain of 3, and that is it. And they have kept him in check except for that touchdown pass. He has now 20 carries for 54 yards. He was averaging over 5 yards a carry and at 1,076 into the game. McKenzie runs off for Lee. In the game now is Bobby Osborne. Shotgun Parker, rolls to the left, now to the right, throws sideline pattern, almost caught by one of the Lee gentlemen, I think, out of bounds. Well away from Levens. We got to talk about how Lee so far has shut number 4 out of this game with 2 catches for 16 yards.
Well, they've just played a smothering coverage defense on him, and that is just a great scheme once again by wrapping him up, and double coverage has been the forte for Lee tonight on him. And really, you know, the quarterback has made most of the plays for them and gotten them where they've gotten down the field with his great passing and execution when he's taking the snap cleanly.
This could be it for McNeil's season. 4th down at the Lee 40, 4th and 7. Parker back to throw. Play action rolls, pressure coming, steps up over the middle, pass caught. Did he catch it? No. As he's on his back, it comes loose because pressure from Lee initially. It was Matt Uzell, and Arndt dropped the pass, and Lee will take over. at the 40-yard line with 4:43 to go, and they've got that much time, Randy, and they could be on their way to their second trip to the semifinals in 3 years.
And frankly, that's poetic justice as the defense comes through with yet another fourth down stop, their third of the ball game against the McNeil Mavericks, and wrapping up just a nice bit of pressure on the quarterback that time. The pass was a little behind his intended receiver.
Cox Communications will show this game, and you'll hear our broadcast Monday and Wednesday at 7 o'clock on channels 18 or 62. And again, after the game, we'll have our Dusty Rhodes Marine player of the game from the good folks at Dusty Rhodes Marine and Tyner and Lufkin. Lee will just try to pound it out. Jason Williams, stretch play, not much, maybe a yard. And Estes, the safety, who's been very active. 42 yards on 9 carries for Williams. 216 yards on 16 carries for T.Y. 82 yards on 14 by Peyton Price. 35 on 3 from Josh Hill and 1 for 8 from Brad Royal.
Just great execution. The running game has controlled the clock, too, in the line of scrimmage. Both lines, offensively and defensively, have pounded away today for Lee.
2nd and 10. Double tight set for Lee. Fleet and Jonah Murphy. This is Jason Williams, 40, 35, close. Excuse me, I was going backwards. 40, 45 near midfield. Larman led the way, 9 yards from Jason Williams. And it's now 3rd down, and I guess it's 3rd down and 2.
Well, that's a beautiful block by Larman as he peels back on the linebacker, Parks, who tries to get around him and is able to grab hold of the legs of Jason Williams, but Williams with a nice 9-yard gain.
If you're a Lee fan or you want to know who Lee plays next week, we are broadcasting on KTBB tonight about 7:30 or 8, the Mansfield Summit Trinity game through the Texas State Network on AM 600 KTBB. Jason Williams, left tackle. There's a flag down from the linesman on the far side. Saron Black leading the way, and this could be a play that's coming back. First half, Robert E. Lee had no penalties. Zippo, none. They had no penalties until after John Giles got caught up. There's a procedure call, but they had no penalties until Robert Wilcox went nuclear on the sideline, complaining about a personal foul against one of his players. And from that point on, Lee has had 5 flags thrown against him.
And all 10 or 15-yard varieties except this one. It's a 5-yard variety, and it erases a first down run. And it's a procedure call, and it was a late flag from the far side of the field nonetheless. But Lee, plays almost 3 full quarters with no penalties, and all of a sudden there's an avalanche of yellow hankies by the officials against Lee.
Well, and again, it happened after Robert Wilcox became upset. Is it 3rd down or 2nd down? I guess it's 3rd down.
3rd again.
That's right. Jason got maybe a foot, and then he got 8. And the 5-yard mark off. Matt Holland is checked in for Lee at right tackle. Missed last game with a concussion. Josh Hill, Jason Williams, nowhere to go, loses 2 or 3. Michael Campbell on the stop, and Lee will punt the ball yet again. And I want to say something about Tyrone Ross's numbers. 216 yards unofficially on just 16 carries. We see these guys around the state who run for 300 yards and 375 yards, and Tyrone tonight could have run for 400. In this game, the way it was going, could have run for 300 or 400. He was just another long run away from hitting 300. Mike Owens doesn't let that happen. He likes to let everyone else get involved, and it always is paid off in the long run. Here's the snap. Last time it hit the ground. Giles to Josh. No pressure, and he booms one out of there to Gammons at the 20. At the 18-20. Looks for a way to get around. You can't get around. Michael Mason and Lance Heap. Great special teams coverage by Lee. And McNeil, after a 34-yard punt and a 4-yard return, will take over, down by 18 with 2:13 to go in this game.
And looking toward advancing to the next round, Robert E. Lee is emptying the bench as well, letting everybody get in on the action, as I believe Coach Owens is pretty pleased with a solid effort both lines. Lee's done pretty much what they've wanted to. A few kinks in the road, but they've overcome them. And against adversity, Lee has been really turning it up a notch the last 7 or 8 weeks of the season.
Lee's going to have to take a timeout. They don't have the right personnel on the field. Well, let's talk about this. They blew past Berkner, 34-6, and there were thoughts by a lot of people. You heard of McNeil 7-5. This has been at times a scrappy dogfight, but at least winning this game by 18. And they kind of put this thing in neutral about a quarter ago. And they had to face the fumble return or the fumble recovery on the first play of the second half. They have come up when they've had to come up with a big play today defensively, and again, The big plays on offense, the big, huge chunks that give them the chance to score all these points, and over 30 points again.
Yeah, and Tyrone Ross hasn't played the last 3 offensive series either, as Jason Williams has supplanted him and scored a touchdown, done a nice job, and Lee's got an all-around great effort. And you've got to really look at the offensive line. They blew them out pretty much all day long against a slightly outmanned team. 3 or 4 great players on the other side of the ball for McNeil. But Lee's done pretty much as they've wanted to most of this contest.
They do have to sit there and try to figure out the Quentin Nicholson situation because they're going to need him as they play either Trinity or Mansfield Summit next week in a time and place to be determined. 1st and 10, McNeil at their 25. Parker takes the snap, pressured by Colby Ray, intercepted, the big play man, Bo, muscle man Bambry at the 20. 15, 10, inside the 5. He stepped out at about the 3. I think he stepped out earlier.
Yeah, about
but there is Bo Bambry. And there may not be many guys on the team stronger than him. Last week, Trevor Reed. This week, Bo Bambry. And down to the 3.
Great call, David. And it's the pressure up front for Lee that puts the pressure on Parker, and he has to throw the ball a little earlier than he wanted to, and falling back into the zone is Bo Bambry. He makes a nice pick and returns it about 30 yards.
Let me tell you something about Bo Bambry. This is pretty cool. Last week I was at TJC on Saturday afternoon. Lee had already won their game. I get a call from him. He is here watching the Woodlands and McNeil, and he calls me to tell me what's going on. Here's a kid that cares enough where he came all the way to Waco. Not that everyone else could have done that, but he said, I want to go see who we're playing next. And look at that, he got the pick and showed some pretty good speed for a middle linebacker. Here's Josh Jason up the middle. That's going to be close. Fumbles the football, and Lee gets back on it at the 7. Well, he was leaning towards the goal line, and that thing came loose. And I think Bo Bambry, 55, Andrew Bailey may have gotten the fumble recovery. And again, it could have been Bo Bambry who got the interception and then the fumble. You tell me that, Kerry? Okay. 1:30 to go, 7-yard line, and Lee, Bo had the lead block.
Yeah, he did, but it's a great defensive play, too. His 2 blue shirts really hit Jason Williams hard as he appeared to want to reach the ball over the goal line inside the 1, and the ball's knocked loose and knocked back 5 yards, but Lee alertly falls on the football.
So now 1:15 to go. All sorts of backups in the game for Robert E. Lee. Tight end near side is Murphy. This is Brad Royal, right tackle at the 5, touchdown! His 2nd touchdown of the year, and he made a nice little move, slide to the right, and it's 37-13. Robert E. Lee, the backup's getting involved in this one.
He read the block up front from Culp, who pushed back the linebacker up the middle, turned him back inside, and just finds his blocker and guides his way in from 7 yards out for 6.
1:03 remaining, and Brad Royal goes in from 7 yards out. Over 400 yards rushing, 15 yards for Brad tonight. And the Lee fans came in big numbers for this game, and hopefully that continues next week. Snap, kick, skates, good. Our score with 1:03 to go. Robert E. Lee, 38. Round Rock McNeil, 13. Back in 1 minute.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed? Yeah! Are we going to trade paint without fear? Yeah! Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Know what I like about Texas? There ain't no place that I'd rather be. You got a much nicer pace, the family has its place, and you can still find a wide open space. Dairy Queen's what I like about Texas, from the blizzard to the dude, man, I know. From the cities out to the ranches, there's a DQ wherever I go. That's what I like about Texas.
Card shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine and Tyler.
Hello, my name is Donna Duncan. I am a teacher at Robert E. Lee High School. I teach English 3 and English 4 and am Dean of the School of Government Law and Communication. I have taught and worked for TISD for 27 years, and you're watching TISD football on Cox.
63 seconds remain in the Round Rock McNeil football season. It's been a pretty good run for Robert Wilcox and his Mavericks, especially after the win against the Woodlands, but it ends here today 38-13. Robert E. Lee with a big second half. And the defense has come up with turnovers again. They've also had some big stops on fourth down. The offense with what is now 394 yards. And kicking off for Robert E. Lee is number 37, Josh Bork. Josh, by the way, is a tremendous running back on the junior varsity team. Bork, number 37, is just a sophomore. He is a shifty little character as a running back, and he gets the opportunity to kick off here. Who would have ever thought in the semifinal game? And the ball kicks off 11's shin, and McNeil will get the ball at the 33.
Robert E. Lee, David, 2 plays, 7 yards in 53 seconds. And Brad Royal gets in on the act, too, with a nice run up the gut for 6.
You know, I'll tell you how things have changed, Randy. 2 years ago, when Robert E. Lee beat A&M Consolidated at Texas Stadium to get into the semifinals, that was a huge deal. This was expected today if they took care of business, and they have. 38-13, and this team has bigger goals than just the quarterfinals and or semifinals. But next week it gets a lot tougher. Back to throw, Mo Parker, draw play Clark for about 3 or 4, and Lance Heap was there. Gain of 4, under a minute to go in this game.
How about players of the game, David?
Dusty Rhodes, Marine, players of the game. And we could, again, have many, but I think today it has to go to Warren DeHaven, the middle linebacker, who has been on several tackles and a fumble recovery, and Tsunami, the big old left tackle, who's created a few tidal waves on those pull plays. There's a pass to Andrews, and he caught it for close to a first down. Then Takari and Cuba knocks him down after a gain of about 5. It brings up 3rd and a yard, but that is irrelevant because Robert E. Lee, folks, on their way to the semifinals for the second time in 3 years. Last year they lost in triple overtime to the Woodlands. And this year they have hammered McNeil with a big second half, 38-13.
And that experience from the past few years, actually the last 8 years, they just built upon it every year. And once they got that monkey off the back from that second round bugaboo, they've done well the last 3 seasons.
Andrews is close to 100 yards receiving. He caught that first touchdown. Parker back to throw, the lefty, pressured by Ray over the middle, pass caught, and then dropped by Brandewie. Holding as well. Nick McLean was getting tied up by one of the offensive linemen. I think Finley was there. Check it, Woodyard, the center, and that's going to come back anyway. 14 seconds remaining.
And he attempted to undress the defensive lineman for Lee. Pulled him down from the waist, it appeared, once he started falling down. And a big hold call is going to, rub out the play. Lee may decline the play, actually. Incomplete pass.
Well, it's 4th down. That's exactly right. The holding call declines the penalty. 14 seconds left, and this could be the last play of the game. If Lee does force a 4 and out, then they'll have to take a knee. And at the end of the game, we'll talk to Lee's Mike Owens. We'll talk to Tsunami Saran Black. You know what? If he's the tidal wave, what do we call Sam Banks? We'll see. 4th and 3. Parker, tight end far side. Lasma in motion. They fake the draw. Colby Ray pressures Parker from the opposite side, and he will bring him down. What a nice effort by Colby Ray. And also there for Lee, number 48 was Tyler Owens. 5 seconds to go as Lee will get the ball and take a knee at their 42 of McNeil. This is a great win for this football team.
Indeed, David. They've just outplayed McNeil, busting them up at the line of scrimmage, too. And Tyrone Ross with a big game as well over 200 yards on the day. And he's been a key cog as he hadn't played really any in the fourth quarter. He's dominated the first 3 quarters of play.
He had over 200 yards in a win against Lufkin on the road one year. Remember the big win when Keandre was out his sophomore year.
That's true.
First down, and taking a knee is the senior Josh Hill. Takes a knee. That will do it. And for the second time in 3 years, Robert E. Lee is going to the semifinals, as today in Waco, they beat McNeil handily 38-13. Our players of the game: left tackle Saron Black and middle linebacker Warren DeHaven, with a huge game inside, going sideline to sideline. 2 years ago, Lee lost to Midland at Texas Stadium. This next week, they'll play Trinity or Mansfield Summit. We'll have to wait. That game again will be on KTVB. And Craig Smoke shaking the hand of the coaching staff at McNeil High School, and Craig Smoke with Mike Owens. Craig?
Coach Owens, Peyton Price loses the ball. It looked like the second half was going to start kind of bad for y'all, but your team stepped it up. People used to talk about a second-round curse with this football team. This is the second time in the last 3 years y'all are going to go to this, or third time y'all are going to go to past the second round. Yeah. How does it feel right now?
It feels good. Right now, all I'm thinking about is getting in the car and driving to Dallas, because we're having a meeting there tonight.
All right, defense stepped up big in the beginning of the second half. I mean, what can you say about this defense? They played good all game long, half for the past few weeks. I mean, what do you feel about this squad you have this year?
Well, I mean, if our defense continues to play as well as they've been playing, then we've got a chance, because we've got to do some things offensively. Our passing game is not real good right now, so we're going to have to work on some things. But we've been able to run the football. That's why we didn't throw it at all. So, we're okay right now.
Speaking of that, you had almost 400 yards rushing total today, 394 I think to be exact. What does that say about the running backs, your quarterback, and also the offensive linemen?
Oh, yeah, they've done a great job. Did a great job tonight. I mean, all of them. Every running back we had played, and they all did a good job. So I'm happy about that.
All right, congratulations, Coach.
That is Craig Smoke with Mike Owens, and they're about to present him with that gold ball that is the quarterfinal round trophy. The Region 2 champions for the second time. Robert E. Lee 38, McNeil 13. They'll play the winner of Euless Trinity and Summit, Mansfield Summit, and that game, we'll broadcast that game. Doug Anderson and the Texas State Network tonight, probably a kickoff about 7:30 or 8 at Texas Stadium in Irving. So if you want to, you can hear that game tonight, and then know late tonight who Lee will meet in the semifinals. They have never played Summit, but they sure have played Euless Trinity in what was a great shootout back in September when Lee lost 42-39.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Mulate Frozen Blended Coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
I am the king of home entertainment, or the Archduke at least. Because I have Cox Digital Cable. Cox has more high-def choices than ever before. And nearly all the high-def programming is free. How cool is that? Cox has great movies and sports programming in high def. Plus an interactive program guide that helps you find what you want, when you want. All with no equipment to buy or long-term contract required. You just can't get all that with satellite.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
Afternoon, sir. Bill Butler. How are you?
Good.
Good. Well, prepare to be great, my friend. I present the Turbo Suck 3000.
Actually, my show's about to start.
Don't worry, Dave. The Cox DVR is set to record every episode. You can watch it when he's done.
Perfect. I'll just need an outlet. There you go.
Watch your favorite shows on your schedule with the DVR from Cox. TV waits for you.
Now you can get into the deep crevices here in the corner.